My name is Erica Lorraine Spencer, and I remain subject to state surveillance and terrorism by the state of California that is operating a malicious targeting system which is referred to as federal group stalking and monitoring via communication devices. And it is in violation of federal stalking statute 18 U.S.C. sections 2261A subsections 1 and 2. My website and podcast serve the public good by publishing evidence of the public entity's ceaseless engagement in a pattern of conduct intended to stalk and monitor via communication devices, surveil, harass, and terrorize an American citizen in concert with the people of the state of California. Documentation serves the lawful purposes of wide exposure, federal prosecution, and influencing federal legislation with policies specifically designed to punish, dismantle, and disincentivize an unprecedented targeting system by a public entity that acts in concert with the people of the state in order to criminally place under surveillance and terrorize an American citizen, which is a matter of public corruption in the state of California. Notice: intellectual property theft is particularly egregious and equally unlawful where the sole inventor and creator of the intellectual property is the targeted individual. Erica Lorraine Spencer, subject to the unconstitutional and inhumane government system of gang stalking, otherwise referred to as federal group stalking and monitoring via communication devices, because of which the intellectual property created by the targeted individual, who is, in fact, Erica Lorraine Spencer, as the intellectual property also proves, serves to establish via evidence and expose the existence of criminal surveillance and thus an inherent threat posed by the U.S. government and the civilian population sharing engagement in the unlawful system. Such evidence that includes all of the content created by Erica Lorraine Spencer, images, videos, audio, etc., belongs solely and entirely to Erica Lorraine Spencer only and is necessarily published online in order to protect her life, safety, and liberty as the targeted individual, who is also the intellectual property owner, no less protected from theft procured through targeting by a public entity. Theft of any intellectual property belonging to Erica Lorraine Spencer, which is necessarily committed while she, being both creator and inventor, remains oppressed by the public entity via criminal surveillance, is a criminal and inhumane means of infringement under all circumstances and not protected nor enforceable pursuant to any invalid or fraudulent acts of copyright, trademarks, patents, etc., including as it pertains to any ideas associated with or generated from the intellectual property or the intellectual property owner, Erica Lorraine Spencer, whether creative, business, or otherwise, nor does the intellectual property owner consent to any such means of infringement and theft. Erica Lorraine Spencer here. The following is an audio version of video evidence that is captured for purposes of mass distribution, which is why I am capturing it and sharing it on the podcast for evidentiary purposes and also to reveal the wealth of documentation that extends beyond what it is that I document on podcasts. Much of the video and images will be published onto the YouTube channel, the P.O.C, and it is also shared on the Google Drive. Again, this is for purposes of revealing what I remain subject to, which is federal group stalking and monitoring. It is a demonic system of state surveillance that the government is practicing in concert with the people of the state, and it should be known and well understood that for the government to engage in federal group stalking and monitoring, this is a crime that is committed with a criminal purpose to threaten the life of an American citizen. This is to conspire to murder and or permanently kidnap an American citizen while engaging in a perpetual sex offense in concert with the people of the state. All right, this is documentation of demons. This is Ontario police engaging in a sex offense. This is psychological torture. This is outward demonstration of mental illness. And this is literally stalking by a demon. I've captured the Ontario police stalking me on plenty of occasions in parking garages, on dead-end streets, doing so in engineer light. And from this distance, it is impossible to touch me with light. As you can clearly see, But while I'm at that distance and I'm taking pictures of it, this is a demon that as I take pictures, this demon that knows that they're being documented decides, like the demons do, they engage in more of it. So this demon sits in relevant position, engaging in what is relevant to psychological torture. That's the entity's pattern of trying to engage in what is psychologically harm you while stalking you, which is a threat while police engage in that. This is license 1680793. I just want you to see my shadow is appearing in front of me. This is impossible light while I'm facing the light, okay? Your shadow's going to appear behind you. This is a demon, and he's molesting. He's a sex offender as well. These are the demons that are stalking and monitoring my vagina all day long, stalking me at every venue in the city of Ontario, and he's engaged in late night surveillance, okay? The entity is stalking license 1680793 is monitoring with the people of the state. While they're driving at this corner, they're molesting me with light at 415 North Euclid Avenue. While he's stalking in a parking lot in the middle of the night, this is why they're being disbanded, because they're stalkers and they're also mentally ill. This is psychopathic and deranged behavior, that which is characteristic of murderers, okay? This is what Tracy Banks and Jason Isaac Fields have solicited. These demons are being paid to keep me under surveillance and furtherance of committing murder, trying to steal my property, and they're demons in doing so. This is stalking in the path with light, and he is molesting me with light while you're looking at my shadow that's appearing in front of me. That's a demon, okay? This is Title 18 federal stalking, and it's also psychological torture while he sits here monitoring my device and knows that I documented him. And this is a psychopath that does it in front of your face as though they are engaging in something that they're not going to be prosecuted for. 1680793, my shadow is appearing in front. I'm facing the light. This is a demon. All right, this is a white male. This is federal prison. This is federal stalking. This is a psychopath who was stalking me in the middle of the night, just like the Ontario Police Department do every night by helicopter. He's a sex offender that's also aware of my vagina and every private space in the city of Ontario. Mike LORENZ is being removed from his position, and he is going to be facing federal prison. This is the entity that on an ongoing basis, and it's a demon while I'm being accosted with light, which is impossible light activity. This is the same venue where I'm capturing the fake sun rising, the fake moon over me at night. The Ontario Police gang stalked by helicopter for 9 minutes last night, flying over me repeatedly while I then upload that video. This is that same department that's stalking, okay? The entity's engaged is psychopathic. It's not as though he's not focused on me. These are what the psychopaths do while you document them stalking you. This is demon possession. This is P.O.C. All right, license 1680793, and he's engaging in the same psychopathic pattern of conduct as the people of the state. He's stalking. This is domestic terrorism. He's going to federal prison. The entity also then turn on their police lights as though they're engaging in a traffic stop, and they're engaging in the same demonic system. Here's my shadow on the vehicle. Here's my shadow over here. That's impossible light. That's a demon stalking a woman in the middle of the night in a police vehicle. He's going to federal prison. That's a sex offender. Vehicle 1110, and he is molesting me with the light, the impossible light activity speaking to his demon possession. And he's bearing weapons while he's stalking. He's going to federal prison. This is P.O.C. It is currently, while he's stalking, 12:38 a.m. Tracy Banks and Jason Isaac Fields are going to federal prison because this is the criminal conduct committed in furtherance of murder that they solicited. This is P.O.C. And I want you to see behind me the demons of the Ontario Police who are monitoring me as an entire department, who know what it is that I'm doing, stalking all around in the path while they are monitoring my documentation of them. This is psychological torture while a bunch of demons are stalking you. This is the P.O.C. That's Gloria's Cochinas. That's, again, third-party facilitating venue. That's gang stalking while the people of the state and the state are on the grounds of establishments, including when they're closed. And that's also why the businesses, the federal RICO case, it's not going to be limited to business hours. The government's engaging in surveillance. They have no warrant or probable cause. And they're also demons that are engaging in what is gang stalking. This is P.O.C. Jason Isaac Fields, Tracy Banks are going to federal prison. These are the demons that are soliciting this ongoing criminal surveillance. And these are demons that are engaging in the practice of witchcraft. And they think by stalking me, they're going to avoid federal prison and that they're going to avoid disbanding. All right, this is P.O.C. It is currently 12:39 a.m. This demon arrives behind me as I come to document their demon-possessed partner, where they're monitoring me together while this sex molests me from half a mile away, way across the street, which is impossible light activity. It's also impossible light activity while the fake sun remains over me on this street from sunrise until sunset. These are the demons, the cockroaches of the Ontario Police Department. That's P.O.C. All right. And this is, again, that predatory, ominous stalking while you're looking at a demon stalking in the path with light. OK, that's a white faced demon that's wearing a police department uniform. He's going to be stripped of that. They're going to federal prison. This is P.O.C. And I want you to see, these are my shadows. This is what I'm documenting the Fontana Police Department doing as well. This is what I'm documenting the entity that's gang stalking me throughout the cities in Southern California, engaging in monitoring, stalking me in the middle of the night, hiding in dark parking lots, stalking in the path with light. Impossible light activity coexists with everything that I'm showing you. This is my shadow appearing at a great distance. Okay, that's the pattern of stalking with light when you're engaging in what is monitoring. And the only thing that is monitoring are demons. Monitoring spirits, and they're engaging in surveillance as a police department. Mike Lorenz, Paul Leon, Alan D. Wapner, and Michael GERKEN are being removed from office. Not headlights, that's a demon. And so is that. That's P.O.C. It is currently 12:41 a.m. These are psychopaths. They're gang stalking you further into committing murder. That's P.O.C. You're going to federal prison. That's another one going to prison. P.O.C. Hi, Erica, while they're stalking in the middle of the night. This is impossible light activity. This is another demon that's going to federal prison. Are you the one that was shining me in the middle of the night with light, screaming my name out on the speaker?
I was not.
What's your name?
My name's Officer Goins.
Officer what?
Goins.
Goins? How do you know my name, Goins?
Because I've talked to you before.
No, I haven't, but you've been stalking me before, but I've never heard your name before. But it's fascinating that you know mine. And this is the second time that I've seen your face, however, stalking in the path in the middle of the night. All right, I've never met Goins. I've documented all the stalkers of the Ontario Police. They all have the same script. Oh, I met you before. I document every demon, and I document them by name. They're stalking together. He surrounds me from behind while I'm documenting that sex offender stalking with impossible light at this distance. And he's lying while it's audible activity and engineer light. This is P.O.C. And again, this is impossible light activity. You see the light that's distinct from what's supposed to be the shade. You're seeing what is the entity that is stalking and impossible light activity. That's Goins, who's going to federal prison, who was surrounding me while he knows exactly who I am. They know exactly where I'm at, and that's why he's engaging in surrounding while I go document his sex offending gang stalker. They're pedophiles engaging in gang stalking. License 1644178 1057. That's federal prison. What's your name again? Goins? This is the pedophile Goins. He's going to federal prison. That's stalking by name. I've never met Goins before, but I have documented his because I recognize his face. We've never spoken before. But the entity that was stalking me at what was Chevron, this is the demon that is, it looks familiar like this demon that was stalking me in the middle of the night while I was uploading the podcast that this department is very hostile to. But I've never met him before. The entity is engaging what is knowledge. Again, they know who you are because you're in the specific environment. Okay, this has nothing to do with the light that you're seeing here, calls from the headlights or any street lamps. This is the ongoing surveillance. And Goins is another gang stalker that's acting as a department full of demons who stalk me with helicopter at every place on this street where the fake sun is rising. All right, right here. Alex Escobar, he's going to federal prison just like him. Alex Escobar is stalking under the fake sun right here at 333 North Euclid Avenue, under the fake sun, engaging in kidnapping as a part of the pattern of conduct that these demons are engaging in, okay? This is P.O.C. and him stating my name is speaking to an admission regarding stalking of who he knows that I am. Specific knowledge, which you already know. You're deducing that from the specific environment because this is absolutely impossible light activity. In the same way that being across the street, none of these vehicles are going to cause any light to touch me over there. And it's the same pattern of conduct by the people of the state that are gang stalking with the Ontario Police Department. This is P.O.C. It's currently 12:44 a.m. There's nothing friendly or disarming about a demon that states your name when you've never met them, that is also stalking in the specific environment as a kidnapping police department that's engaging in the demonic pattern of conduct. Goins is subject to federal prison as well. This is the P.O.C. and he's surrounding while I'm documenting his partner while they're engaging in gang stalking. He's not acting by himself, the one that I was documenting. They're acting as an entity. Hence this demon arriving behind me with regard to that surrounding conduct by cockroaches that are keeping you under surveillance. This is P.O.C. It's 12:45 a.m. All right, that is UPS engaging in what is hovering over me on what is Euclid Avenue at 415 North Euclid Avenue. This is amplified audible activity, relevant positioning. See how they are going out of their way to fly in alignment to me on the sidewalk in order to then engage in what is crossing path and going back in the opposite direction. This is the stalking by the Ontario International Airport. Alan D. Wapner is going to be removed from office, and this has nothing to do with the arrivals and departures from the Ontario International Airport. It is coexisting with what is impossible light activity that's coexisting with stalkers such as 8JQD634. This is the ongoing gang stalking under the fake sun that's right where the city of Ontario is stalking by plane. You already know that the Ontario Police Department are stalkers, and this is demonic while 65893Y3 is on the road an impossible light occurs underneath a structure. Impossible light occurs under any circumstances in that manner. This is a population of demons. This is impossible light. It's manifesting in the shade. They are targeting me together. Impossible light's also on the truck. And this is where the fake sun is rising. This is where the fake moon is at night. This is the same street where the entity is setting the fake sun. This is the entity that's engaging in what is the P.O.C. All right, this is domestic terrorism, and this is the disbanding of the Ontario Police Department. It is the removal of Michael GERKEN, Mike LORENZ, Paul Leon, Alan D. WAPNER, that entire gang stalking corrupt court that's engaging in what is domestic terrorism, doing so pursuant to what this is why it's not published on the website, because this is the stalking conduct of psychopaths that are demon possessed, engaging in what is a sacrifice that's a failed sacrifice. This is the conspiracy to commit murder of the American citizen that's being targeted by the government and in concert with the people of the state. That's demonic activity that the public officials are engaging in while they engage in a satanic means that is relevant to psychological torture and ongoing domestic terrorism, and the government's going to be prosecuted for it. The entity is engaging in what is this ongoing pattern of conduct, license 97443L3, engaging in what is the supernatural occurrence over and over again. This is what's happening inside of Starbucks. This is what's happening inside of OVITT Family Community Library. This is what's happening while the entity is engaging in what is stalking by all manner of commercial plane and helicopter. This has nothing to do with the fake sun that's on the driver's side of their vehicles while they are crossing path and light is appearing on the opposite side, targeting me where I'm at and targeting the environment. This is understanding the demon possessed. These are the zombies that commit murder. These are the pedophiles that are engaging in gang stalking, and so is the government that's stalking in the same manner at the same environment, sharing in the elements of amplified audible activity, light activity, which is also impossible to naturally occur under fake sun that remains for 12 hours in the day over one street. This is what's going on in Monrovia, California, where I'm documenting the fake sun remaining over Courtyard by Marriott. This is the entity that's engaging what is stalking. It's currently 7:19 a.m. This is the documentation that is going to serve for putting Tracy Banks and Jason Isaac Fields in federal prison. This is the satanic means of terrorizing and psychological torture while they sought to steal my property and relying on the murder of the entity that's going to commit murder, psychologically murder you, and also murder you, taking your physical life and then controlling the narrative. And this is what the United States government is doing throughout the United States, okay? This is pursuant to what is conspiracy to commit murder and kidnapping, which is what the Ontario Police Department has done. Demons who you see stalking me in the middle of the night at this same location, stalking with impossible light. So is this. This is all impossible light. It's not sunlight. And so far as this is not the sun, this is not sunlight, and this is all pursuant to what is monitoring underway. That's United Airlines, the psychopathic pattern of conduct where these demons are failing in what is any sort of sacrifice while they rely on psychological torture and ongoing terrorism, which is supposed to break down the target individual. The target individual is exposing and prosecuting. This is P.O.C. The people of the state are going to federal prison. Ocean at Starbucks that committed kidnapping, she's going to federal prison. Kidnapping with the Ontario police who are demon-possessed gang stalkers acting in furtherance of committing murder. On behalf of Jason Isaac Fields and Tracy Banks, they're both going to federal prison. Alan D. WAPNER, the entity that's engaging in kidnapping with the Ontario Police Department, they're going to be subject to disbanding for engaging in repeatedly kidnapping while you are looking at the evidence of what they're doing, stalking me as the same demon-possessed population. Driving, that is crossing path, light activity creation, demons who are monitoring. This is public corruption that United Airlines is engaging in under the fake sun that's still here. After 6 p.m., by here I mean on Euclid Avenue, in alignment to me, which is speaking to a population of demons. ARCO is, Chevron is gang stalking. Every business is gang stalking. Starbucks is right there, and they're going to be prosecuted with regard to criminal summoning. This is P.O.C. The entities engaging in what is documentation, which is removing the gang stalking officials because they're engaging in what is not published on the website, and this has nothing to do with the arrivals and departures that are published on the Ontario International website, while they are sharing in the satanic means of psychologically torturing, sexually violating, and stalking, physically stalking, following from place to place, while they are engaging in what is also facilitation of monitoring, and they're all engaging in federal stalking under Title 18, Section 22618, subsections 1 and 2. This is the prosecution of the state of California. Jason Isaac Fields and Tracy Banks are going to federal prison for it. This is P.O.C. They're demons. That's what they all have in common. They are demons, and the demons in the city of Ontario are going to be prosecuted. This is P.O.C. All right, it is currently
7:22 a.m. on Tuesday, August 19, 2025. And as you are already aware, because you listened to the video evidence of the Ontario Police Department, who are of the same condition, they are not only corrupt, I'm exposing the demon-possessed. And the demon-possessed are engaging in a very specific criminal system. It is a system of criminal surveillance, and it's also a system of sexual violence pursuant to criminal surveillance. The criminal surveillance is sexually perverted, sexually motivated, predatory, and also this criminal system of surveillance is that which is committed in furtherance of murder, which is what the Ontario Police Department are engaging in the middle of the night, as I'm documenting on a ceaseless basis every night, every day, in this same exact environment, and where I'm documenting the Ontario Police exhibiting demon possession and stalking me as a corrupt police department. This is the same location where hours later, the fake sun, the same fake sun that is setting on this same street, Euclid Avenue, is remaining present, and that fake sun is in alignment to me of every other person, any other location in the state, let alone on this street of Euclid Avenue, where the entity keeps the fake sun for the duration of the day, by the way, in alignment to me. This is where the fake sun is rising. That's also giving you context regarding the video evidence that you listened to on this podcast of the Ontario Police. Both of those demons are going to federal prison. They are stalking me in furtherance of what is committing murder. And while I document, they are unlawfully threatening my life while they are conspiring my murder by stalking me. Doing so through the solicitation, the criminal conduct of the state of California, which includes Tracy Banks and Jason Isaac Fields, who are still gang stalking me as I document the pattern of conduct. They are doing so while they are relying on this ongoing psychological torture, while they are, what you are also aware of, practicing witchcraft. And so while you're looking at United Airlines, while you're looking at UPS, while you're looking at them engage in conduct that is not intentionally not published, where L&D WAPNER is engaging in criminal conduct that is plain for everyone to witness with regard to the context of the P.O.C, with regard to the supernatural, that is the satanic environment, where United Airlines is engaging in witchcraft for all of the world to see. This is what you need to know about United Airlines and UPS and every other airlines that you will see published on the Ontario International website, that they engage in sacrificing American citizens. That is, they murder them. This is acts of terrorism that you are no longer ignorant about when they're holding these hearings after quote-unquote inexplicable tragedies such as a plane crashing into a helicopter. That's a sacrifice that's committed before your eyes. And then they insult your intelligence and hold a hearing as though they do not know what happened, as though they are trying to rationalize and explain what went wrong. These are the demons that are engaging in witchcraft right in front of your face, and it is United Airlines, UPS, the airport itself, the Ontario International Airport is showing the world what is going on throughout this country. They are stalking American citizens whom they are sacrificing, and it is the work of witchcraft. That impossible light activity that you see by me, while you see the demons hovering over the sky space, flying in alignment to me on the sidewalk, where you see the fake sun in perfect alignment to me on the street of every other address, where the entity is engaging what is unpublished flights. And as I capture that video, that's not longer than 4 minutes, I don't think, you're looking at the frequency of those low hovering planes that are engaging what is concentrating presence in alignment to me, flying up to where I'm located, flying up to that street, and then engaging in what is the making of a U-turn. These are the demons that are pacing. This is mental illness exhibited in the same way that I document the Ontario Police Department exhibiting mental illness, which is relevant to their disqualification permanently from law enforcement, aside from what is the ability to diagnose mental illness based on the demon-possessed who are no longer secretly among us, and their criminal conduct that is underway while they are present in the environment, showing that they are targeting you, okay? And they are targeting you in furtherance of trying to sacrifice you. That is murder you. That's murder that's committed by the government, sanctioned by the government that's stalking by police, the government that's stalking by fire department, the government that's stalking by demons operating ambulances, the government that's stalking in commercial planes, and the government that also uses smaller planes, government planes, to engage in the same elements of monitoring. They're surrounding in that environment, they're surrounding with the population who are not private citizens. And they know exactly who you are while you're looking at that supernatural environment maintained around you in a manner that is illogical. It's absurdly impossible. The fake sun's on the driver's side of their vehicles, yet on the passenger side of the vehicles, light is at a distance away from them in alignment to, as they drive by, that light activity swipes by me, which is on the passenger side, and I'm at a distance from them. That is showing you a demon-possessed person that is stalking me and is stalking me specifically. That's pursuant to what is monitoring. And it's happening under what is a fake sun. A fake sun that is, again, 3 hours ahead, not in Florida, because I've shown you the fake sun on this same street even in the evening. And I'm going to the destination where you witnessed that fake sunset after 6 p.m., where the Ontario International Airport, the Upland Police Department, the Chino Police Department, and the Rancho Cucamonga Police Department, that is specifically the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department, that is speaking to Mark Balos, that is speaking to what is Shannon Dykes, that is speaking to not only Mike Lorenz and Alan D. Wapner, but the demon, and also the demon that's currently in the position as a terrorist leader, not a police chief. This is what the demons in the United States call themselves. This is what terrorists refer to themselves as, giving them jobs and positions and salaries to engage in domestic terrorism in the United States, when they are nothing different. They're no different than what Osama bin Laden is. Okay, they're terrorist leaders. And they are doing so while I am showing you the fake sun at the same intersection, Hope Boulevard and Euclid Avenue, where the fake sun is on the same street. I'm walking to that destination right now, which is not at a distance. While the City of Ontario is gang stalking, license 1682530. This is the demonic means of stalking. You know that the City of Ontario is stalking. That's why they're maintaining frequent, not just plane activity, but frequent plane activity hovering over this street where the fake sun is centered on me. Impossible light activity is also centered on me, while a population of psychopaths are not convincingly or persuasively engaging in their passive-aggressive means of stalking. They are directly targeting and doing so with knowledge of who you are while you're being molested with impossible light activity. And this is also the evidence of removing Paul Leon. This is also letting you know that this is a demon who plays a fake pastor as well here in the City of Ontario. Okay, you're going to see City of Ontario engaging in what is state surveillance right now. And that is, again, license 1682530. That's P.O.C. That's the entity that is engaging what is light activity creation. 8KVY159 97758M2 8SNZ903. This is Sunbelt Rentals. All right, large trucking companies, they cross state lines. 408172T, that's an out-of-state license plate. They cross state lines. They're engaged in interstate commerce, and the pattern of conduct of federal group stalking and monitoring is that which they are violating with the state of California as they engage in what is routinely interstate commerce, crossing state lines with the intent to engage in surveillance with the state of California, with the people of the state. Corrupt businesses, trucking companies like Sunbelt, that is gang stalking right now. All right, license 6ETF609. This is P.O.C. and it's currently 7:30 a.m. 7:30 a.m. Is, again, a tremendous amount of time where demons such as the Ontario Montclair School District, license 9EBF191, that is giving you context. This is giving you hard facts regarding what is around me and what you know is around you. While the specific environment is exclusive, you're understanding what is necessarily the case in a supernatural environment. That is Student Transportation of America, by the way. But Ontario Montclair School District, the same conditions, same criminal system. This is P.O.C. Alrighty, it is currently 7:30 a.m. and I am located at the same intersection where you saw right here, the same population. 7XDJ365 represents an entity. It's not an individual and also is not a private citizen. And this is also impossible light activity where you recognize that under the Constitution where the government's engaging in criminal surveillance. This is where the entity is migrating as I migrate. Pay attention. Not only are they hovering, they're engaging in this ongoing boomerang conduct with the planes. As the fake sun moves as I move, no longer at 415 North Euclid Avenue, located where I'm at the belly spot at 109 North Euclid Avenue, and so is the plane activity. And this is that which is not published on the Ontario International website because it's not an arrival or a departure. It's stalking pursuant to what is criminal monitoring underway in the City of Ontario by the City of Ontario itself, the government, in concert with the entity that is 6TPG758. Because on this same street, 11 hours from now, the same exact environment exists, while the fake sun and engineered light is present, while a population maintains presence under a fake sun, a population representing an entity that is gang stalking with the City of Ontario that is flying over my head as I'm documenting stalkers, demons, pedophiles, and co-conspirators for murder. This is the entity that's engaging that, and it's psychopathic. 8PEN022 is also a sex offender that is monitoring my vagina. The entire entity is sharing in sexual violence. That is not a surprise. They are indeed engaged in pedophilia. So is every business, including Omnitrans. routinely making money while gang stalking. It is inherently built into the pattern of conduct, the criminal system, the public corruption that the city of Ontario and the state of California is engaging in. That's a sex offender who is stalking, not minding their business, not going to any particular destination as the focal point. And psychopaths who are demons engage in this gang stalking system in a manner that shows you what is the actual focus, what is the actual point, who is actually a targeted individual, and it's not based on sacrifice, it's not based on the psychopathic behavior of demons that don't look at you or talk to you. Those are the living dead who are engaging in a fully exposed system. The Ontario Police is gang stalking with this same entity at 6 o'clock in the evening, where they are being documented, and the Ontario Police is flying over the top of my head, and this fake sun is over me while I'm at this same exact intersection of Holt Boulevard and Euclid Avenue, where you see San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department, specifically Rancho Cucamonga Police, intentionally targeting, stalking, knowing exactly who I am and coming to participate in this ritual, which is pursuant to what is a sacrifice of an American citizen. This is a failed sacrifice, and it's being publicized with regard to the public investigation of the United States government that's engaging in what is the conspiracy to murder. 19 BS 675 is engaging in conspiracy to murder while she is stalking as a government actor. With the government that's stalking by planes, and with the government that you see stalking by corrupt law enforcement agencies, which includes beyond what is the Upland Police Department, 9JPR 663, is engaging in what is audible activity, relative positioning, and impossible light activity. That's the significance of having light manifesting in the shade. You're always being molested with light. You're always being surrounded by demons who are waiting for you to drop dead while they practice witchcraft. And the witchcraft that they do practice, you can see, because the witchcraft includes keeping a fake sun over you for 12 hours. This is Holt Boulevard and Euclid Avenue, where the entity is gang stalking with the Chino Police Department, sharing in what is a conspiracy to commit murder and obstruct justice, knowledgeable and specifically stalking you, which is proven under a fake sun and amongst impossible light, with a population that includes the government acting. The multiple corrupt police departments includes the Upland Police and the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department, who are at this same intersection, like I documented, on August 15th, 2025, after 6 p.m. It's currently 7:34 a.m. The sun is never going to any other city or street, let alone state, while the Ontario Police Department are stalking in helicopters, flying in circles over this same Metro 102 apartment. Pay attention to the video documentation that I captured while United Airlines, while UPS are stalking. As I progress, migrate north up the street, so does the plane activity. That's a stalker that's, again, demon-possessed, engaging what is sacrificing an American citizen whom they know very well is also documenting it. They're all stalking in impossible light. They're monitoring. My shadow is appearing in the shade. That's the intent that you need. Not a psychopath, not a sex offender, not a co-conspirator to murder who does not look at you or address you while they are stalking, furtherance of murder. This is the gang stalking population, and they are engaged in pedophilia. They are engaged in what is obstructing justice, murdering American citizens, and that's how you have such an unintelligent system that's been in existence for so long. 6 VVJ 694, and this is the prosecution of the government, 8 QJ 910, not individuals. You don't have accidents in the specific environment. It's murder by an entity. 9 ATE 331. 5 MPD 293. And as I'm documenting in the same manner, after 6 p.m., the Ontario Police that is stalking me through the population in concert with them, demons that are monitoring my vagina, a population of sex offenders who have minor children while they engage in that, who operate businesses, who stalk in planes and helicopters. This entity engages in what is terrorism on video while they're engaging in what is flying in circles above me as they follow from the OVITT Family Community Library, which is right across the street, where a population of demons are sitting around stalking me in a library all day long. Stalking me as I sleep, stalking me as I eat, stalking me as I pull my panties down, stalking me as I document it. And they're going to be prosecuted, and Jason Isaac Fields and Tracy Banks are going to federal prison for it. Impossible light activity occurring on the outside of the bus, and the fake sun on the driver's side, and the fake sun is still here after 6 p.m. Where again, San Bernardino County, Chino Police Department, Upland Police Department, who know very well that they were documented, sharing in the statewide pattern of conduct that is the conspiracy to commit murder, because these demons sought to steal my money and accuse me of criminal activity that they've been engaging in, while the Ontario Police in particular have repeatedly kidnapping, and that's why they're being disbanded. While they're still stalking as a population and as a police department, which you saw in the middle of the night, stalking and molesting with light, just like this impossible light activity. That's what they're doing at nightfall, while Ontario police are on the opposite side of the street at the Ontario Downtown Luxury Apartments, 320 North Euclid Avenue, apartment complex of sex offenders and gang stalkers who are monitoring. And this impossible light activity is molesting me, while a demon that's driving an Ontario Police Department vehicle is stalking, just like they all are right now. This is P.O.C. It's currently 7:36 a.m. and in the natural environment, where the U.S. government is not targeting, where there is no criminal surveillance unbeknownst to American citizens. The sun is not going to be at the same intersection 10 and 11 hours from now, where black-faced demons, Latino, brown-skinned demons, white-faced demons are engaging in the pattern of conduct of murdering American citizens as an entity, as a sacrifice unto Satan. This is legally prosecuted as conspiracy to commit murder. This is P.O.C. All right, capturing video of the entity stalking under the fake sun at the same intersection, 101 South Euclid Avenue, 101 North Euclid Avenue. That's the T-Mobile, where I have a wealth of documentation, by the way, before 2025. But I wanted to show you what the Chino Police, what the Rancho Cucamonga Police Department, which is Shannon Dikes, San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department, committed kidnappings with the gang stalkers who you see obsessing over me in the middle of the night. Claiming that they've met me before, admitting to knowledge of me, in other words, which you don't have to say a word in order to admit knowledge. The fake sun and the engineer light, just like I'm showing you now, is the admission. Let me show you these sex offenders license plate. Let me read them out loud. 8KEF185, 9SQM179, 5FAZ591, 91999A1, 9AVF6V1, 9LIW061, 7UNS532, 7ADR232, 8CEG701, stalking with the Ontario International Airport, 8VRM931, 9JJD602, 7BXZ432, and this is what the government is relying on. The criminal monitoring 8VVU368 provides while they are engaging in federal stalking on the roads and the highways. Alan D. Wapner's criminal engagement in the pattern of conduct is his removal from office, acting in furtherance of my murder, intentionally, specifically, deliberately. And so is every third-party gang stalking airline. They sacrifice American citizens. That is, they murder them when there are plane crashes. These are demons that are acting pursuant to a pattern of conduct which is no longer secretly underway to you, so that you know that you are paying Satan when you get on their airlines and there is any sort of harm that happens. It is a work of Satan. Acts of terrorism, as you are going to prosecute a government body that employs that against American citizens. I am being targeted by a city full, that is a state full of demons that sought to sacrifice me. And the illusion is that they're strangers, that they don't know you, that they don't know who you are. And the evidence of a fake sun at one intersection 11 hours later from what is 7:30 a.m. is shattering that illusion and the ongoing pattern of conduct in that environment where the sun doesn't go anywhere. And the entity is doing so through what are planes. That's attributed to the government. The police department, that's attributed to the government. All right, the fire department, that's attributed to the government. And they're doing so in a supernatural manner. The government that is in that environment, that's engaged in all manner of activity creation, which you are witnessing as well. They are manifesting right in front of your face as the demons that they are, and they're engaging what is criminal activity right in front of your face. They're monitoring. That's inhumane means of surveillance, absent any warrant or probable cause or legitimate interest by the government. And this government in Ontario has engaged in several kidnappings because they did not want me to expose them, because they wanted to get away with murdering me in order to steal my property and get away with what they've already stolen. Jason Isaac Fields is a psychopath who was still practicing voodoo and witchcraft in order to accomplish getting away with what he has already committed in concert with his sex partner, Tracy Banks, a fake gang stalking mother who is going to federal prison, and so is Jason Isaac Fields. All right, the criminal conduct of the people of the state, the criminal conduct of the city of Ontario, the criminal conduct of United Airlines. Jason Isaac Fields and Tracy Banks are going to federal prison for it. All right, this is what the entity has solicited. This is ongoing psychological torture supposed to result in what is your demise. And it is government conduct. Never mind that the demons, Tracy Banks and Jason Isaac Fields, solicited and summoned their demonic partners to engage in targeting me together. All right, because they are engaging in what is an ongoing campaign defaming my character, and while also suppressing my evidence on the internet, stealing it, asserting it as their own, while then at the same time, even in my documentation, you'll hear Tracy Banks trying to, this high school graduate, this whore, she's a Jezebel spirit. She's an elder with a very loose genitalia that everyone is familiar with, including those in law enforcement, especially those demons. And she's engaged in defaming me, which I captured in audio documentation while she's monitoring me, while through my documentation, which she's not even intelligent enough to scrutinize, but she is engaged in what is legally defamation while she's monitoring. That was her method of monitoring me. Her audible activity was defamatory, and she's also behind my back stealing the same evidence that she wants to claim as her genius. Okay, she couldn't think her way out of an open box. 9MAZ097, and that's what Jason Isaac Fields is bound to. That's what he's been having sex with for years. That's what he's been conspiring against me with for years and abusing a government position in doing so. Relying on me being psychologically tortured, stalked, and harassed and terrorized by demons like the Ontario Police Department. He's going to federal prison. He did that wagering against my life, counting on my death, while he is simultaneously defaming my character in order to walk away with my money and get away with stealing my money, and also accuse me, especially when I'm 6 feet under for crimes that he committed with his sex partner, this grandma, Tracy Banks. And they thought that that was a genius concoction. The Ontario Police is being disbanded. And you're understanding what the corrupt law enforcement role is in this country. It is surveillance, and it is covering this public corruption that I'm exposing. It's not law enforcement. And the Ontario Police are showing that they are not needed. In fact, they are a liability. They are an embarrassment and a shame. And they also need to be made an example of for the ongoing impunity. The ongoing impunity is because the entity, the federal government, is engaged in targeting me as well. And they are engaging in what is ongoing criminal conduct, and I'm going to prosecute the federal government for it. This is the practice of witchcraft that's no longer secret. This practice of witchcraft becomes legally relevant because the government is relying on it. That's going toward malice. And I'm documenting the evidence of that malice. It is the impossible light. It is the fake sun. It is the amplified audible activity. It is stalking in helicopters and in airplanes, where it is proven beyond a reasonable doubt that I am the one that is being targeted while the entity is stalking in those absurdly demented manners. License 7CTF044. They're going to federal prison. Every kidnapper, including Ocean and all her gang stalking employees on July 4th, 2025 are stalking. And then the stalkers engage in what is kidnapping through the corrupt, demon-possessed Ontario Police. And Tracy Banks is going to federal prison for it as well. All right, it's currently 7:43 a.m. and it is August 19, 2025. And I'm at the same intersection where the Ontario Police Department engaged in police training. If you'll recall the documentation on July 14, 2025, it's 7:43 a.m. And the fake sun is at this intersection after 6 p.m. like I just documented on video. The entity is going to be disbanded. All right, since they don't have anything important to do, and they're not deterred from engaging in ongoing witchcraft. I want to be clear, it is relevant, and you're not free to practice witchcraft when it's a part of your job to engage in what is corruption as law enforcement agency. That's relevant to the Ontario Police Department's demon possession and their practicing of witchcraft. Their conspiracy to murder an American citizen, that is sacrifice while they're practicing witchcraft, engaging in the sacrifice of an American citizen, maliciously executed, and it is through the illusion of what's supposed to appear as law enforcement, and it doesn't even appear as such. All right, but that requires your ignorance. All right, you have the eyes to see. I've given you context. I've shown you what they are actually doing and what they want to appear to be doing, and it requires your a total and utter ignorance. You have to be an entire ignoramus in order to believe what is the illusion that the gang stalking police officers, and not only the Ontario Police, but the entity itself, wants to present as. All right, and that actual reality is going to be the disbanding of the Ontario Police. It is currently, again, 7:44 a.m. This is P.O.C. All right, demons monitoring. License plate. And remember, they're monitoring me in furtherance of murder. They're still acting toward my murder. License 88OL457-34616W3, 9CVY279. This is ongoing criminal conspiracy to commit murder. License 9TJU418, and they've already committed attempted murder as an entity. 7BAE528. License 72128X3. 7ANV441, 8224OC4. Gang stalking immigrants are being deported. License 8K78833. DRDSLFX. All right, and gang stalking police officers engaging in this criminal conduct for that criminal purpose, they're going to federal prison. Gang stalking mayors, they're going to be removed from office, and while you are engaging in criminal conduct, which is speaking to federal prison, you're going to federal prison. There's no exception here, and there's no exception under the law, by the way. License 7WCZ891 at what is Euclid Avenue and East Street, where the Ontario International Airport are stalking with commercial planes. And guess what's going on during the day? Impossible light activity, ongoing stalking as a population under the fake sun at the same exact intersection, where I'm also capturing the fake moon over me at night. This is the third party that's acting in furtherance of the conspiracy to murder, and they are specifically doing that with knowledge, and also psychopaths that are maintaining what's supposed to be the disguise of anonymity. License 9BWY337. There's no anonymity under the fake sun at all. All right, the entity's engaging in this delusional criminal system, and they're going to be prosecuted for that. That's relevant to malice. That's exactly what's supposed to be the facts that aid in what is falsely depicting the character of an American citizen. And that unintelligent system has been broken down so that psychopaths like the Ontario Fire Department are put in the positions that they belong in, which is mental asylums. This gang stalking demon, license 9NIB760, gang stalking as, again, Michael GERKEN is being removed from office. These are demons working for the Ontario Fire Department under a fake sun, centering their criminal conduct around purchasing from the gang stalker Starbucks at 507 North Euclid Avenue, where the sun is still present 10 hours later. DREA 82, you'll see the images of that at 7:48 a.m. at the same intersection. This is P.O.C. That's vehicle 4176. License 1469498, that's the government. Michael GERKEN, who is being removed from office for the ongoing criminal conspiracy to murder me as an entire department engaging in what is surveillance and masquerading as a fire department. They are manifesting as demons every time they sound sirens. They are masquerading and engaging and manifesting as demons every time they're engaging in what is the use of those fire trucks that are creating light activity while they're in the engineered light, and also while they use the lights on those trucks. And they're doing so with regard to a sacrifice. That is a criminal conspiracy to commit murder. They're trying to murder someone, psychologically murder them, and also engage in what is the homicide, the taking of the life of that targeted individual. Michael GERKEN's being removed from office, and gang stalking police officers are engaged in the same pattern of conduct while they go to the extent of committing things such as kidnappings. License 9PIE258, and while they do so, that is Satan that wants to be taken seriously as a police officer, but you're not. You're going to federal prison. All right, and this is the entity that's molesting right now during the day in engineered light, and this is what those demons were doing last night. Those two demons whose license plate I documented, admitting to knowledge of me when I've never encountered, well, I've never spoken to them. I didn't talk to this demon, but I've seen his face before, and the audible activity of the demons I know that they're being documented who are stalking me, if you'll pay attention to the body of evidence, because there is a body of specific evidence of just showing the Ontario police stalking me, all of the conversations that I've had with them while they're monitoring, it's all criminal activity, but you're listening to all the things that they've said. You're looking at the fake sun over me while they're saying it. You're looking at the environment where it's the obvious specific environment, because there's a body of evidence. Those demons are relying on that moment in time, and there's a whole body of evidence surrounding them. While they are already exposed and they're still stalking, that's why they're going to federal prison as well. But the entity is engaging in what is always stating, oh, I mentioned before, these demons are lying. They're lying. All right, the entity is engaging in what is stalking me before. And while you have knowledge of my name, while there's been no encounter, by the way, there's never been any encounter that that called for what is presence of the police. The entity's calling the police because they're scared when I document them, and they are also admitting knowledge because it's, the entity's engaging in what is a means of harassment. And in other words, stop her from documenting. Call the police, the bully that's supposed to stop that. That's the entity that also commits kidnapping together while they're gang stalking you. Gang stalking you and further into murder, and they want you to stop by kidnapping you. License 9FEH194, 7RNF822, and 8UQL328. And understanding gang stalking, they're gang stalking while I'm at Hope Boulevard and Euclid Avenue. They're gang stalking while I walk toward this Chevron and the fake sun follows me. All they do is make a purchase at that venue, which is an admission to criminal presence, criminal monitoring. That's it. There's no getting out of the pattern of conduct, which is showing the malicious purpose behind the specific environment in the first place. And you'll see my shadow appearing in the shade where those third parties are monitoring. Okay, this is P.O.C. It's 7:51 a.m. at 506 North Euclid Avenue. All right, stalking inside of the Chevron. License 9PHA147. Crossing path as I walk outside of the store, 8JRR393, 5ZBN 702. And I'll show you the fake sun that's over me. This is the same intersection where UPS, not only UPS Airlines, but Upland Police Department, the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department, and the Chino police are gang stalking on the same street where the fake sun is over me, where demons are stalking at a gas station. That's how much of a hovering system of stalking they're engaging in, and that's how obsessed they are with my vagina as well. Demons of all races and ages, 7LCX453, relying on stalking someone that's not of that condition because they're already dead. This is the practice of witchcraft, and they're preying on somebody in order to murder them and steal from them. It is currently 7:55 a.m., and Chevron, the business, is going to be prosecuted for it as well. All right, license. Everybody at ARCO is gang stalking. So let's read these demons' license plate. 8BOJ, hold on, impossible light toward me. License 8BOJ016. These are demons stalking in the path. Let me show you the fake sun over this same Chevron that's present after 5 o'clock in the evening, gang stalking. All right, the fake sun that's over me at the same ARCO in relevant position. License 14870A4. P.O.C. Gang stalking immigrants are being deported. They're driving around in unmarked vehicles and white vans with no windows, gang stalking. License 37786E3, 8SKOO2, 8SKS002 rather. License plate Stalking with a possible light activity. They're co-defendants monitoring on Euclid, where light activity doesn't stream across over me. 74506M3. Stalking with Alan D. Wapner, using commercial planes at U.S.C, doing donuts over the sidewalk. Stalking me, license 9BMU656, 5YSW289. You'll see the fake sun over me while they're gang stalking, where the fake sun is remaining because the population is sharing and stalking me in furtherance of committing murder. 9TOR793. And you need to understand that these are pedophiles. 9ADK895. Stalking as a population. Everywhere that I'm turning, a demon is present. That's how obsessively stalking they are. And demons are present in Ontario International Airport using commercial planes. All right, license EGOOM82. A black-faced demon with some tacky-looking cornrows. She's stalking me. She's crossing path into the fake sun on what is Euclid Avenue and East Street, the same intersection where the fake sun is setting. It's still here because she represents a satanic entity conspiring my death. License 9HJP686. This is P.O.C. And you'll see the fake sun at this same address in the evening, where Starbucks is right across the street. Okay, they're all under the fake sun stalking. This is a population, and this is a population of murderers and pedophiles. That's why they're stalking together. As a government act, Alan D. Wapner, Mike LORENZ, the police, Michael GERKEN, the fire department, all right, Paul Leon, the municipality, and Paul Leon is also accountable for the criminal conduct by all of the aforesaid departments as well. The fire department, the Ontario International Airport, and the police department. He's being removed from office. While you got a bunch of demons, gang stalking in Ontario, City of Ontario vehicles and utility trucks, and they're all stalking me and monitoring my vagina. So is Paul Leon. 8DRM583. This is P.O.C. This is understanding and recognizing the crime scene where surveillance is underway, where gang stalking families, which represents what Eric Corey Spencer, who's going to federal prison, what Tracy Lemire Banks, going by Tracy Lemire Jenkins on her Facebook, where she is, again, what you need to know, a pedophile, and she is also a serial killer, and so is her sex partner, Jason Isaac Fields. All right, while they are accountable for what is soliciting the attention of a demonic entity that decided to target me in order to commit murder and steal what they know belongs to me and what the government did not tell me belongs to me, but also engaged in what is accusing me of criminal conduct that this same gang stalking government knows very well I did not commit because they've been gang stalking me the whole time. All right, and all of the lies that Jason Isaac Fields has uttered, that Tracy Banks has uttered, that Eric Corey Spencer has uttered, that Shanita Ramaya McLean and any other person in court, they know that their lies, the government is acting with them. While this perjurious testimony is given in what are court hearings, which is criminal conduct, by that government that's stalking me in planes and helicopters, and by fire departments, all right, and by ambulances, they know very well that I didn't commit it. They are relying on the government that is acting vicariously through demons like Jason Isaac Fields, Tracy Banks, Eric Corey Spencer, and every other fake friend, while they are conspiring to engage in what is kidnapping. And this is all occurring while you're ignorant about targeting, you're ignorant about the government keeping you under surveillance, you're ignorant about the government monitoring you. And the government is monitoring together with the people of the state who utter those lies in concert with, in other words, picture this in your mind, the government is providing the microphone to the people of the state who are necessarily needed in order to lie on the targeted individual. The government is providing that amplification of that volume in order that is that conspiracy together. They're providing them the ability to do so. They're providing them the platform to do so in order to commit kidnapping together, in order to engage in criminal defamation together. That's why that government is also gang stalking, and that government is not ignorant about the fact that the target individual is no criminal. The target individual is a victim of the government that's full of demons who steal through organized crime such as gang stalking, who murder through organized crime such as gang stalking, and the Ontario police are being disbanded for it. And so Tracy Banks and Jason Isaac Fields are going to federal prison, amongst others, including, again, like I stated, Eric Corey Spencer, he's going to federal prison. He's listening to my podcast all the time, and he's listening to his sister that he conspired to kill, that he secretly hates. And the reason why is because the spirit of Satan dwells in him. All right, his vessel is filled with Satan. He's a demon, and he's a sex offender, obsessed with my vagina, obsessed with the vagina of his relative. And now these are secrets that he doesn't want known, but that's the reality, and it's known through his criminal pattern of conduct. That's also why he lied on someone that he knows would not do none of the things that he has uttered in court, and he's going to federal prison as surely as the Ontario police are stalking me in the middle of the night. Eric Corey Spencer is going to federal prison. 7VIM224. This is P.O.C. This is the motivation behind lying on the target individual. This is the motivation behind stalking with commercial planes and helicopters and fire departments and ambulances. This is the motivation behind what are quote unquote strangers. They're not strangers. You're shattering that illusion. These are the living dead who know exactly who you are. They know that you're not a demon. That's why they're all targeting you. They're already dead. They know exactly who you are, and the specific environment shows that. 1562884, Paul Leon, being removed from office. 9TOL634, 8CLH649, P.O.C. That's also relevant to Paul Leon because the gang stalking police are monitoring with every third party that I'm documenting, and Paul Leon's being removed for the gang stalking and kidnapping by the Ontario Police. License 5ZWD951, P.O.C. License, this is ongoing obsession. License EF45N46, impossible light toward me, which you already saw on video, so you know exactly what I'm describing, while these demons, not strangers, are stalking. And the stalker knows that they're being documented. And the stalker persists even more, hence the plane activity, hence the stalking by all of the malicious guys, all of that obsessive stalking I just documented at the gas station. 9PXG475. They're inside of the United Chiropractic Health Center. They're inside of their facilitating venues where they live. They're inside of the parking lot, inside of their vehicles, all stalking. Aware of where I'm at, tracking my every move. 9PPX219, and that is not within the imagination of any targeted individual. License plate 53303V1, and the entity is going to be prosecuted and disbanded. That includes the Ontario Police. 6VRH219, because this criminal system is what is the tragic injustice where American citizens are defamed, while the entity that is actually mentally ill and sexually perverted, trafficking children and gang stalking, committing murder and gang stalking. 9NJBB33, license 9KWJ478, pedophiles that have minor children that they're gang stalking meet with in the bathroom at the OVITT Family Community Library. 9TOS538, 9BKN445. 9RXP018. This is P.O.C. and I'm at the same intersection where the Ontario Police were stalking me last night in the middle of the night. All right, and it's impossible light activity while they're driving under the fake sun because it's not the sun and it's not sunlight. It's therefore impossible light activity. It's also impossible light activity while you see the light ricocheting while they're driving in the car. There's no connection between that that event driving and the light that's coexisting while they're crossing my path. That's understanding the formula of where demons are stalking you. This is the entity that's engaging in witchcraft. 6XUZ223. And I want to be clear, not only are demons not strangers, demons are, they don't have what are races. These are demons of all, well, the demons are using the vessels of people of all races. 24255C3. This is shattering that illusion. These are not black people that are stalking me. You're looking at the physical vessel. I've captured every single race gang stalking. And you need to understand that that's because you're not dealing with the physical, you're dealing with the spiritual. All of those races are engaging in the same pattern of conduct. But yet and still, if you pay attention to physical things such as dancing ability, not every race has the same natural ability to maintain rhythm or natural talent to sing and dance. This is different with regard to the pattern of conduct. It is uniform because it's specific to the demon possession, regardless of race. Okay, the entity is engaged in this pattern of conduct and it goes across all lines, all barriers. There is no barrier whatsoever and there is no removal of the pattern of conduct. In other words, it is absurd based on the evidence, and it is also legally absurd to suggest that an Asian person is not gang stalking me by virtue of their race. License 8ZVF870. This is a sex offender, a pedophile, a psychopath that's wearing scrubs. She's a gang stalking nurse. She's a psychopath. She's engaged in psychological torture. Oh, that's a man. Whatever that is, it's stalking. 8ZVF870 wearing what appears to be scrubs. 7TQT803 is gang stalking with somebody that's in the medical field who needs to be removed. Psychological torture, gang stalking is the evidence speaking to the propensity to commit murder and maliciously derive pleasure from it. And then go ahead and hold a hearing in the hospital regarding any sort of mistakes, any sort of errors, any sort of negligence on behalf of the nursing staff where they lost a life tragically, but they don't know what happened. And we're going to make sure that all protocols are handled and that this does not recur. This is not a recurring, unfortunate, tragic circumstance that nobody's going to be held accountable for. Or it's murder committed by demons, by the way. That's what it happens under those circumstances. And the entity also engages in even somebody that serves quote unquote justice for it. They're playing cops and robbers. This is what these demons do routinely. Whether somebody goes to jail for it, whether someone is pinned for it that didn't even actually commit it, but understand it's not an individual, it's an entity that commits murder. This is gang stalking. Gang stalking is nothing other than a term where you can understand what it is that I'm referring to. Gang stalking is the conduct of demons. Demons act in gangs, groups. They don't act as individuals. They don't even think independently. They don't create anything. They stalk and follow and monitor because they cannot come up. That is Satan. That is not the creator of anything. Satan is created. He is a God wannabe, and he's not even the equal opposite of God. And it is the same with the demon possessed. And they are obsessed with the one whom they are targeting. And that's rooted in their spiritual condition. And not only that, they're engaging in what is obsession and also hostility with the one whom they literally want to wear my skin. Okay, they want my taste buds, they want my pores, okay? They want the hair follicles on my head, my nail beds, my cuticles. That's how obsessed. That's how obsessed this is, okay? And a population of them, and it is not limited on race because you cannot see that obsession on the face of an Asian person, but you can perceive it in the pattern of conduct. A population of stalkers. They're dead already. They're demons. That identification is shown through the pattern of conduct, the behavioral pattern in that specific environment. Where you're spending millions of dollars, a very clear example, you're spending millions of dollars in stalking me using planes, this is how you know that Alan D. WAPNER is a demon. This is how you know that demons, they make up the majority of the population. There are more of those that are in darkness than are not, by the way. This is in line with what Scripture teaches. And because of the population of gang stalkers versus the target individual. And that's speaking to reflecting that spiritual truth. But this is how you know that. The amount of money, the amount of time, the amount of resources, the amount of manpower while you're engaged in that criminal conduct, which is based on your obsession, based on your knowledge of who I am. This is why Florida necessarily has many fake suns while I'm documenting one fake sun remaining over me on Euclid Avenue. Bright view is monitoring. The use of this water machine is audible activity under the fake sun, where the entity is going to concentrate plane activity now at the Ontario Town Square, and a bunch of psychopaths stare at you like they're lost. That's demons. Those are demons. That's P.O.C. That's audible activity under the fake sun. You'll see the images uploaded to the Google Drive. That's P.O.C. All right, it's currently 8:08 a.m. Securitas is gang stalking. Securitas is not engaged in any employment. They're not engaged in any constitutionally protected rights. They're monitoring. And that company's monitoring, and the demon that they have pacing on the grounds at the Ontario Town Square, where Alan D. WAPNER maintains plane activity for pacing. Demons that are obsessed with me, and they spend millions of dollars using airlines such as United Airlines, American Airlines, Delta Airlines, Southwest Airlines, UPS using their planes, Amazon Prime using their planes, FedEx using their planes to stalk little old me because they're demons. All right, it is currently 8:08 a.m. This is documentation of the fake sun remaining over me from 415 North Euclid Avenue up to Holt Boulevard at 101 North Euclid Avenue, then back north up Euclid Avenue to 506 North Euclid Avenue, 434 North Euclid Avenue. The fake sun moving in both directions on the same street where I'm capturing the fake sun in the evening. This is where the Ontario Police on August 15, 2025 are stalking me at B Street in Euclid after 6 p.m. after I exit the library that I'm looking at right now. And they're stalking by helicopter while that fake sun is over me at the same location at B Street in Euclid. Those are demons who are actually engaging in what is gang stalking. That is a satanic means of targeting someone in a manner that's malicious. That's how Satan targets. Satan uses illusions. This same series of illusions is also your ability, the reliance on. These are demons that practice witchcraft. They rely on magic. They put faith in voodoo. And that's also why they're mentally ill. They cannot cope with facts, and the entity has been given a lot of information and facts and circumstances suggesting that their magic is not working, their voodoo is not working, that the outcome that they bargained for is not going to occur, and their mental illness, that is their delusion, that is engaging in this satanic conduct for so long, relying on this. Satan takes your natural mind. They are literally deceived by the demons that are occupying their vessel. And that is, again, the reason why the demons of the Ontario Police Department, they need Jesus, but you need to also understand that they are mentally sick. They're literally delusional, and they are psychopathic. And they're engaging in deriving pleasure from stalking as a gang stalking police officer. Satan, which is the Ontario Police, they derive pleasure from that because those demons presuppose that nobody knows that they're doing that. All right, they're going to federal prison for it. It's committed in furtherance of it's committed in furtherance of the conspiracy to murder an American citizen. And then as a gang stalking police officer, you control the narrative as to how that happened. And the corrupt system that I'm exposing is that which is typically designed to uphold the unlawful taking of a life of an American citizen that's being targeted, subject to surveillance by law enforcement in this country. They're not engaged in policing. They're engaged in what is criminal surveillance. All right, and maintaining that ongoing surveillance system by any means necessary. It's currently 8:10 a.m. This is all to say, Tracy Banks and Jason Isaac Fields are going to federal prison. P.O.C. All right, again, this is another snapshot, another Kodak moment, exposing the system of public corruption. That which is committed by a government and in concert with the people of the state. The people of the state are a commercial means, meaning every business is engaged in the criminal system of gang stalking, and those businesses are profiting off of conspiring the murder of an American citizen that these businesses are targeting in the same exact specific environment, pursuant to the same demonic pattern of conduct, pursuant to the same knowledge that an American citizen that doesn't want to be murdered, that doesn't want to be targeted, and these businesses are engaging in with that same level of impunity and disregard for the lives, for the constitutional rights, for the human rights of another. And this is what, again, the people of the state third-party Brightview are engaging in. And so at Ontario Town Square, 224 North Euclid Avenue, fake sun is over me. Fake sun is over me while I am, let me go ahead and just recite this. You will see it uploaded, conclusive evidence, everything that I describe, everything that I detail, everything that I assert, everything that I allege is proven with evidence, everything. So the entities engage in this pattern of conduct, and you are going to be mindful, first of all, this same address, I am present, and it's already on the record. This is speaking to the delusional conduct of the entity that is obsessed with trying to murder me, and that's not going to happen, and they're also going to be prosecuted for what the whole world is witnessing, that the government is routinely engaging in against other American citizens that are not going to any longer be ignorant about it. I'm already present at the Ontario Town Square. Recall, as I leave Economy N, fake sun over me as I captured out that window that's on the same Euclid Avenue that I captured video on this morning. Okay, the sun is never going to be on one street. This is big picture where Brightview is gang stalking. Okay, but we're going to get to what already happened before Brightview is here, present today, engaging in a ceaseless pattern of conduct with impunity that is shared by the entity. Brightview being here present is the same entity. Brightview's been engaged in the pattern of conduct. In other words, you're not acting as an individual. You're not acting under any constitutional rights. You are acting in the shoes of the government, and these demons thought that they were intelligent and cunning enough to engage in a way that you'll never be able to see how they're engaging and targeting you, because they're demons and it's demonic activity. But I have provided a means whereby you can identify what the demons are doing, how they're doing it, and who they are doing it via. So that means while Brightview wants to be demonic and target you, you're going to prosecute Brightview for domestic terrorism and psychological torture and sexual violence. That is literally, companies in the United States, under the law, they're treated as persons. So Brightview is a person that's engaging in domestic terrorism. Brightview is a person that is engaging in sexual violence. That is, Brightview is a sex offender. That is, Brightview is a domestic terrorist, and Brightview is a gang stalker, in other words. Brightview is actually engaging in conduct that Brightview also knows is being documented in real time, and Brightview psychopaths, mentally ill, though they're just wearing uniforms that bear that logo, and I'm going to prosecute that logo. Okay, and that logo represents the corruption of the government. Brightview is engaged in public corruption that the feds have jurisdiction to prosecute for under existing federal law. So, and this is relevant to what I'm also exposing. You will civilly and criminally prosecute gang stalking companies. All right, Brightview is filled with demons that are pacing around on the Ontario Town Square under the fake sun, while these demons are maniacal psychopaths, very much seething while they are listening to me document and expose them. And that's the reality of the demon possessed. The entity, picture the Ontario police, which you've seen hundreds of times, stalking me by helicopter. The more and more that I document, the longer that the helicopter engages in pacing over me. That's what the demons that are wearing Brightview uniforms are engaging in. It's not landscaping. Okay, so you'll recall that I'm at Ontario Town Square on August 17th, 2025 at 6:50 p.m. where the same terrorists, Southwest Airlines, is gang stalking over the Ontario Town Square at 6:50 p.m. and you see a demon that is, again, using the vessel of an old white female. She's wearing the red sweater and the navy blue skirt and black sneakers. This is at the same time crossing path on foot under the fake sun and an engineer light. Brightview's not walking in sunlight, and this old biddy at the same property under the fake sun is not walking in sunlight. These are demons that are monitoring. This is a spirit which is satanic, that's obsessed with my vagina. This is how you're understanding men and women of all ages share in sexual violence while they have a spirit of a sex offender, the spirit of a psychopath, the spirit of an obsessed stalker on them that is using them, and I'm going to prosecute them because in federal court there is no defense that you are demon possessed. I am merely giving you evidence of what is their condition, which is relevant to a threat to the public, while these demons are enthralled with the idea of murdering you and sexual activity with you, and they don't even know you. And this is what you need to know about the entity that is demon-possessed. That is gang stalking. And it includes Brightview, that's under the fake sun, engaging in the same iteration of the pattern of conduct that the same actor, Southwest Airlines, is engaging in. They are engaging in sacrificing American citizens. And again, Southwest Airlines criminal monitoring that I'm documenting in a body of evidence with which I'm going to prosecute that company, but it is to prosecute the entire state of California, the United States government. Okay, they're merely imbeciles who engage in the ongoing pattern of conduct regardless of the weight of the evidence, and that is because they are mentally ill. Because no sane defendant that is anticipating a court hearing, and they're delusional, there's not going to be any sacrifice. If there were going to be a sacrifice, their witchcraft would have already worked, meaning I wouldn't be maintaining an ongoing body of evidence on the venue of the internet for all of you to listen to, for all of you to look at on a day-to-day basis. Nothing is slowing me down at all, and no demon in hell is going to stop that. This is the entity that is delusional, and those demons fly Southwest Airlines planes, engaging in what is the published criminal conduct committed in furtherance of the conspiracy to murder. That is, demons that are engaging in sacrificing an American citizen. So is Brightview at the same address on August 17, 2025 at 6:50 p.m. Presence in the path on foot in front of me, engineered light all over the place. That's the elements of monitoring that this old biddy is engaging in. And this morning at what is 8:27 a.m., presence in the path on foot in front of me. This is engineered light. These are the elements of monitoring that a demon is engaging in, wearing a Brightview, representing a company, just like Southwest Airlines is representing a company. This is the commercial means where the government, not a private party, not a constitutionally protected maintenance of a business, is what you're witnessing. You're witnessing the public corruption of federal group stalking monitoring, i.e. gang stalking in the supernatural environment. That is evidence that is so probative, so powerful, so conclusive, you cannot make it up. Okay, the entities engaged in this. Brightview is engaged in the pattern of conduct with Southwest Airlines, and the same way that Southwest Airlines is acting with the same entity, the people of the state, on August 17, 2025 at 224 North Euclid Avenue, Ontario Town Square, where the fake sun is present at 6:50 p.m. and the fake sun is present at 8:27 a.m. And that is also evidence that pre-existed what Brightview and this demon at 6:50 p.m. on August 17th is engaging in. The entity is literally already surrounded with the evidence, while I'm literally adding to the pool of defendants so that you are aware of what is unmistakable, which is entirely free of any error. The body of evidence that I am giving to the public for the well-being, in order for you to be aware of what Satan is doing, to be aware of, therefore, what the government is doing in service to Satan, and what is something that should not instill you with fear. This is surveillance that's also underway on the venue of the internet. All right. And this is also relevant to the ongoing surveillance that I stated is underway on the internet. And these demons that are engaging in gang stalking, they're doing so on the internet. Recall the demon Nefertiti, medium prophetess. She's not that's literally an oxymoron. No demon is a prophet. And prophets are singularly those that are assigned by God. And God is not giving any messages to tarot card readers. They are getting their messages from Satan. They are engaging, referring to, by the way, God, the Holy Spirit, when they are engaging in satanic behavior such as divination, tarot cards, and they're also doing so while they're gang stalking me, in sync with the demons that are around me, like what Brightview is doing, like what Southwest Airlines are doing, like what the people of the state are doing under the fake sun, under me, where I am present in the environment. And this demon on the venue of the internet that I already documented before, she's a part of this cult that's been targeting me, using what is witchcraft, because these delusional demons, whom the feds know who they are, targeting me online, a part of what is revealing surveillance throughout this country in the United States, and that's speaking to what surveillance that's happening all over, okay? The internet is speaking to what's happening across the seas. This is surveillance that is underway that the United States is fully engaging in. While I'm being targeted by it, it is the evidence to you to be aware of the fact, conclusive evidence to you, proof to you that we are all under surveillance, including on the internet. And this is how you have Satan serving demons who read tarot cards, a part of this satanic cult that Tracy Banks and Jason Isaac Fields are a part of, targeting me. Okay, and this demon that is on YouTube, a third-party facilitating venue that is targeting me, is engaging in what is targeting me at the same time while I am on the venue of the internet, and that ongoing simultaneity of the demons targeting me at Woodside Senior Apartments in the specific environment with the Ontario International Airport, the Ontario Police Department, Impossible Light inside of Tracy Banks' apartment, where the entity is also engaging with that demonic synchronicity, that Nefertiti medium prophetess. This is, again, compliments that are entirely entirely, first of all, false and demonic. She may be a medium, but that's not godly. She speaks with the dead because she is dead. That's why she hears from the dead. And she's a demon that I documented targeting me with the demons inside of this facilitating venue that is Woodside Senior Apartments. It's already sitting on the record. She is a part of this satanic cult that Jason Isaac Fields and Tracy Banks solicited. Tracy Banks and Jason Isaac Fields are going to federal prison. Okay, and the demons that are gang stalking on the venue of the internet, many of them I have been observing with regard to their engagement and what is targeting, while they are utilizing what is satanic behaviors, targeting behaviors, even as they give their false satanic messages regarding what is trying to manipulate what is an inevitable fate, which is the prosecution of the United States government for targeting me. And while I am subject to targeting, understand the Lord Jesus permitted this so that you would know what is going on in the United States. Because I am a United States citizen, I'm not going to speak in depth about what's happening internationally unless and until I am led to do so. But what is happening in the United States is giving context regarding what's happening in the rest of the world, however, including while the entity keeps the fake sun over me on one street in one city all day long. Okay? The specific environment is giving you context. What the United States government is doing with the existence of a constitution, that's to provide an illusion that no such thing is happening in this country. And that's not even logical, but this is what the illusions that the demon-possessed, the mentally ill, rely on. That's giving context about what's happening in other countries in the specific environment where they don't even have a constitution, where they don't even have the freedom of speech, or even the guise of freedom of speech for someone like myself, whose constitutional rights and freedom of speech is being violated while I am publishing the evidence on the venue of the internet. The entity is at the same time suppressing that evidence, and I'm going to prosecute for that. It's not stopping justice. It's going to be a part of justice. And you need to know the reason why the Lord God is permitting it is so that you will know. And the entity is going to federal prison. The Ontario Police Department trying to murder me, they're going to federal prison. They're being disbanded for trying to suppress the evidence of it on the venue of the internet, where demonic, demon-possessed, gang-stalking tarot card readers are a part of this criminal system, and they literally act in sync with the demons that are around me. This is understanding demon possession. Demon possession is that which is not in any barrier between what's happening on the internet and what's happening in real time around you in the environment. This is spiritual. And it is what is happening on the internet is entirely demonic. The demons know what you're doing on your phone, and they're not in the room with you. They're not sitting next to you. They're not looking at your device. It is entirely demonic with regard to surveillance on the venue of the internet, the demonic behaviors that affect the operation of the internet and your communication devices. And as I am prosecuting, the demonic entity is engaging in what is targeting me on the venue of the internet, on the venue of what is third-party YouTube, where, by the way, this cult is engaging in targeting this sex cult, this Jezebel spirit that's operating over the cult members that are on YouTube engaging in tarot card readings with regard to the federal prosecution of the state, acting with Tracy Banks and Jason Isaac Fields, engaging in sex rituals together, suffering from HIV, in defaming my character regarding sexual transmitted diseases that I don't have, that they have, that they are engaging in what is using witchcraft. These are psychopaths that are not going to get rid of HIV by spiritually attacking me. This is what these demons are doing, though. This is the delusional psychopath that's gang stalking in real time with Southwest Airlines Brightview at Ontario Town Square under the fake sun that's also setting here, and gang stalking me, monitoring, targeting while I'm on the venue of the internet, filling my feed with such content. The entity is engaging in what is targeting on the venue of the internet and doing so regardless of my searching for it. I did not search out tarot card readings, had never heard of it. The entity is engaging in targeting. This is also relevant context regarding recognizing targeting that is underway. Targeting is pursuant to what is the synonym? Surveillance. Okay? No coincidences when you're being targeted. No strangers when you are being targeted. Targeting is happening in the specific environment, and I've proven that I am the one specifically being targeted because in Florida, the sun is not over you while I'm showing it at Ontario Town Square from 6:50 p.m. until 8:27 a.m. Okay, that is relevant to the P.O.C. I want to get back to Brightview. Brightview is headquartered in Pennsylvania, 980 Jolly Road, Suite 300, Blue Bell, Pennsylvania, 19422. Brightview is a third party. They are engaged in targeting me in a plethora of cities and counties with LA County and what is Walnut and Pomona, Diamond Bar, when I'm sleeping in my car before I came to Ontario, and the entity was stalking me in commercial planes in entirely different cities, and doing so before I documented, before I coined the fake sun, before I put all those aspects of this criminal system together. The entity has been stalking with planes and helicopters. That was the first thing that the entity, the method of terrorism that the entity engaged in, the first 1A was stalking with planes and helicopters and the people of the state. Okay, and then recognizing the environment where it is conclusive evidence. You're not just operating in some way that you can't prove that you're being targeted. Oh no, the demons are surrounding you in that specific environment, which is stalking you, and they are all stalking together, and they are literally a demonic entity, the living dead, a group of zombies that are stalking you everywhere, while they are trying to, in other words, like they can siphon the Holy Spirit from you, and they cannot. They also cannot murder through witchcraft someone that is filled with the Holy Spirit, like myself. And that's why I have survived what is a satanic sacrifice, and it's the prosecution of the United States government, including on the venue of the internet, where demon-possessed third-party actors on the venue of the internet are engaging in what is targeting. Remember, they're targeting my content. They're stealing my content. They're engaging in they're targeting while they're stealing my content. Okay, while they're engaging in what is defaming my character, they're engaging in what is harassment. YouTube is facilitating it. YouTube is interfering with this investigation, removing my evidence while simultaneously targeting and permitting the entity. Remember, YouTube is intentionally doing it. Surveillance is underway. Nothing is happening ignorantly. It's a comprehensive prosecution. While the entity is engaging in this, and this is all happening with regard to the solicitation by Tracy Banks and Jason Isaac Fields, these demons, these two sex offenders who spread around STDs and then defame my character in court, while they thought that their witchcraft, their sex rituals were going to was going to result in what is exchanging my life, my blessings, my position in Christ Jesus with a demon. This is how ignorant, this is how mentally ill the demon-possessed are. One too many spells, too much magic, literally consumed in illusions, not dealing with reality. And I've documented the mental illness of Tracy Banks. Her sex partner, Jason Isaac Fields, is equally, if not more, mentally ill, having sex with someone the age of his grandma, thinking that inside of her genitalia, nothing other than STDs is going to be a curse on his life, or he thought that he was going to target me successfully with the facts and information that he had at his hand. This is an entity that is delusional. Okay? It is currently 8:51 a.m. This is... I'm sorry?
Sorry to bother you.
Are you about to spray over here?
Yeah, I don't want to be getting messy.
Is it dry over there yet?
Yeah, it's a little dry. I didn't pressure wash the seats.
Oh, I wish you would have.
Oh, you want me to?
Yeah, because somebody had their dirty dog on there. So that's why I was like, that's good if you're going to pressure wash it, actually.
Let me know what.
But I'll get out your way. I'll get out your way.
All right,
that's fine.
no problem. Sorry about
Would you mind doing the seat on the other side?
Yeah. Tell
Can
me
you do
what
that?
seat. And
Oh, the whole thing. I don't care, but this side on the opposite side. I always sit over
like
here.
on the cement?
On the cement seat
Oh,
on
yeah, I
the
got
opposite
you.
side over here.
Yeah,
Thank
I
you.
got you.
All right. It's 8:54 a.m. This is P.O.C. I'm going to get out of Brightview's way while they're engaging in what is their job. Their job is coexisting with criminal surveillance, okay? And that's understanding and recognizing malice. It's currently 8:54 a.m. P.O.C. Providing what is an example of demon possession, and this demon possession exhibited by the government. This is Paul Leon that's engaging what is keeping me under surveillance through the satanic means and also the terrorizing and psychologically harmful means of surveillance. This is light activity. And the two vehicles representing the municipality that is engaging in what is Satanism and what is also criminal surveillance, where the Ontario International Airport is gang stalking and the Ontario Police Department are also gang stalking, where the fake sun is present over me, where you'll see in the images that fake sun moves in step with me, where license LW, I can't really see that one. The entity is gang stalking through license plate 1602154, that's City of Ontario, and license 1678097, that's City of Ontario. And what the demons are doing are maintaining this flashing light in order to cross path that's tracking my steps by the municipality. Paul Leon's being removed from office with regard to your recognizing this is where the fake sun is still present, which is how you know that the municipality is stalking me in particular. The fake sun's still over this entrance while I'm at the same time at Economy Inn, where the City of Ontario is gang stalking while the fake sun's over that roof, over me, where I'm positioned at that property. The two aren't happening at the same time. The two is speaking what is gang stalking. License V597PO is sharing in criminal surveillance with the government. They do the same thing when they're stalking in the bathrooms, around the bathrooms, where they're engaging in what is sexual violence. And this is what you're looking at, pedophiles that are pushing strollers, engaging in state surveillance, walking right into the crime scene, which is the OVITT Family Community Library. These are demons that are engaging in surveillance, engaging in what is harassment. Paul Leon is located at 303 B Street, which is right behind the OVITT Family Community Library, where you will see the fake sun. And the fake sun is also over me at that Ontario crime scene, the City Hall. I've documented all the crime scenes, speaking to the removal of these officials. The fake sun, the crime scene over me at the City Hall, at the Fire Department, at the Police Department, at the airport. This is the entity that's engaged in that POC, and the entity is surrounded with evidence while practicing an ongoing ritual regarding sacrifice. This is murder that the demon-possessed intend to commit. While they are engaging what is the failure of that sacrifice, they are being prosecuted with regard to to the conspiracy to commit murder, and this is why Jason Isaac Fields and Tracy Banks are going to federal prison, as it has resulted in what is exposing domestic terrorism in the United States. These are the mentally ill that are stalking under a fake sun. These are the mentally ill that are stalking with methods of flashing light, and this mental illness is born by those that are working for the city, which Paul Leon permits to engage in targeting me and monitoring my vagina, which is sexual violence that the gang stalking mayor himself shares in, while the city hall is, again, steps away from the venue where criminal summoning is the criminal conduct of Paul Leon. All right, crossing path with sirens under the fake sun with flashing light. This is the demon, sex offender, license plate 06884U2. Okay, that's P.O.C. Crossing path together, pacing. You'll see that captured in the images under the fake sun. It's 10:05 a.m. The sun is also not in Monrovia, California, where I'm remaining at Courtyard by Marriott in Pasadena off of the 210 freeway. It's Monrovia / Arcadia / Pasadena. Those cities are very much separated by literally intersection, but it's in Monrovia. And the entity's keeping the fake sun from morning until evening over me. It's outside of my hotel room window as I look out, capturing the 210 freeway. The fake sun's remaining outside of my window. It's not the sun. It's not the natural environment. It's the evidence of what is surveillance, which Paul Leon is engaging in. All of this criminal conduct happening while he is engaging in it, and it is happening while he is in position of leadership. This is leadership over sexual violence, leadership over psychological torture, leadership over the conspiracy to commit murder as a government act. And the entity is also doing so while that fake sun is over 215 East C Street in Ontario, California. This is the entity that is targeting me on behalf of Tracy Banks, who conspired my murder, defaming me with this entity, defaming me while conspiring my murder as a fake gang stalking mother. She is a psychopath. She is actually mentally ill, and she is doing so as a means of what is this pattern of conduct that the government has been engaging in for decades. Paul Leon's being removed from office thereby it, and he is engaging in what is conspiring the death. You're not just gang stalking. It's more egregious because not only is this terrorism, but this is understanding what is stalking in order to commit murder, which is a state system. All right, and that's what gang stalking airlines are engaging. You need to understand that they murder people pursuant to the same satanic system. They serve Satan, and they engage in what are ritualistic acts of sacrifice. Okay, sacrifice is a synonym amongst the demon-possessed that worship Satan. It's called a murder under the law. And it is that which is done with intention. In the same way that you're looking at what is engaging in a sacrifice, while Southwest Airlines is gang stalking, they sacrifice also with the loss of human life, which they intentionally engage in. And in the United States, it's a part of the satanic system that I'm exposing to you. And I'm going to prosecute every single corrupt company gang stalking with the Ontario International Airport. This is, by the way, the evidence speaking to supporting shutting down the Ontario International Airport, which is a threat to the country, which is also the disbanding of the Ontario Police Department and the removal of the gang stalkers that are working for the fire department, the police department, the demons that's Ontario Police stalking on Euclid Avenue. They're on traffic cameras driving south on Euclid, stalking in the path while the fake sun's over me. They were stalking all last night as well, molesting me with impossible light like they are now. While the fake sun's over me, the demons of the Ontario Police are molesting with light while they're exhibiting demon possession, hostile and triggered, while this gang stalker is stalking with the police who are acting in furtherance of murder. 9NXF 866. And that's 9NXF 686, and those are demons that are acting in sync. The fake sun is over me. The Ontario Police are crossing path, listening to every word that I utter, where they engage in what is manifesting as demons. That's light activity, relevant positioning, and audible noise. Those are demons that use police vehicles to engage in satanic behaviors that are accomplishing ongoing surveillance while they're engaging in what is a sacrifice. All right, they've sacrificed their careers in law enforcement permanently. They've sacrificed their liberty because everyone that I document is going to federal prison, and they've sacrificed the entirety of that police department. It's being disbanded. And this is serving for what is a consequence of terrorism in the United States, where any gang stalking entity that engages in this level of criminal conduct, public corruption, and then seek to conspire murder in order to steal property from me, also defame my character, that is then blame me for my demise. This is what these demons have been praying to Satan for, gang stalking me in furtherance of, and doing so on behalf of the psychopaths, the sex offenders themselves, Jason Isaac Fields and Tracy Banks. That's why the entity is going to be disbanded. Ontario Police are being disbanded. They are puppets that have been paid to target me, and they're going to federal prison. Okay, they're engaging in what is criminal summoning under the fake sun that's still at the same venue where Ontario Police are on video at the same address at 6 o'clock in the evening under a fake sun. And that's conclusive evidence to you that their use of sirens and lights on those vehicles, police departments are not supposed to be engaged in criminal activity in furtherance of committing murder that they presuppose they're going to get away with. The entity is engaging in what is exposing their partners that are also going to federal prison that are at the same address under the fake sun in the evening where Alan D. WAPNER is targeting. Okay, that's P.O.C. and that's Amazon Prime. Again, rising in elevation, you'll see the series of pictures that I'm taking as though they're taking off over the 280 North Lemon Apartments. You know that they're not, and they're doing the same thing over the Economy Inn at 2301 South Euclid Avenue. Impossible light is appearing on the shade, in the shade along the curb where a group of demons are gang stalking with the government. They're then walking in engineered light under the fake sun. This is the entity of demons. These are dead people that are monitoring all together, and this is an entity that is doing so. Remember, Chino Police, Upland Police, the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department share in gang stalking at 6 o'clock in the evening, where this same exact environment is present, where you're looking at public corruption. And this is public corruption committed in furtherance of what is murder, okay? And this is the criminal conduct for which the public officials in Ontario are being removed from office, and you have what is federal imprisonment, okay? This is P.O.C. That's criminal summoning. These are psychopaths that are pacing up and down. They are engaging in what is a publicly exposed mental case. They're having a mental breakdown, while they're listening, and they are hostile to what it is that I'm exposing about them. These are delusional psychopaths who are engaging in criminal conduct, which is on the traffic cameras. It's relevant to the documentation that Ontario Police Department maintains. It's going to be used to prosecute them. They will be producing their own information because the entity is surrounded with the evidence pertaining to the malicious criminal system that they've been engaging in for years, and it is criminal monitoring, and it is going to also serve for the prosecution for every other gang stalking law enforcement agency, those oxymorons which are going to be dealt with by federal law. And how is that? The Monrovia Police Department, the Los Angeles Police Department, just to name a few, are engaging in what is gang stalking, while the Ontario police are under a fake sun on one street in one city, stalking me, which is showing what all the rest of them were doing as well, where there could not possibly be a sun at any other location when you isolate the universe to what these demons, these psychopaths, these sex offenders, these pedophiles that put on uniforms that want to dress up like they're law enforcement officers, and they're not. They're demons. This is Satan that is engaging in state surveillance through corrupt governments, demons in positions of government, demons that are filling a population where they're engaging in what is sacrificing American citizens. And it includes, I want to be clear, anthesis, gang stalking with the government. And they are under the guise of engaging in the compassionate services to the mentally ill. They are the mentally ill. All right, the entity is engaging in this, and it's entirely malicious conduct that is serving for what is public corruption. The entity is maintaining City of Ontario vehicles at the entrance with regard to monitoring. This is terrorism, while the pattern of conduct is surrounding you everywhere, in the same way that the fake sun is ongoing terrorism, and in the same way that the demons that are dead, who are pacing all around you in that environment, are pacing. The entity is doing so. It's terrorism. 9CXZ 803, a sex offender, a pedophile that's obsessed with my vagina. And they're engaging in this sexual violence with the Ontario Police Department. They are gang members and sex offenders, kidnappers, and they are co-conspirators to murder. And Jason Fields and Tracy Banks are going to federal prison for it. Again, Paul Leon's criminal conduct is noted by the Ontario Police engaging in criminal summoning, by the fake sun remaining over the Ontario City Hall, which is at this same venue. License plate 8WMK277 is engaging in criminal conduct because of Paul Leon's position in office. This is necessitating his removal. 1678097 vehicle 5508 and 1602154 engage in what is light activity creation. This is the context regarding the fake sun that you already know is here into the sunset hours, which is speaking to the criminal activity that a gang stalking mayor is engaging in and will be removed from office for engaging in. Okay, just so that you know, Satan serving Jehovah's Witnesses. All right, the reason why they don't acknowledge the name of Christ Jesus as the Lord and Savior, as a true and living God, is because they serve Satan, and that's why they are targeting the Holy Spirit. They're gang stalking at OVITT Family Community Library, engaging in criminal summoning as demons, handing out pamphlets about Jehovah's Witnesses. It's currently 10:13 a.m. This is P.O.C.
It's 2:25 p.m. in the environment where you are already aware of the fake sun planted over the building of the OVITT Family Community Library, where the entire city is keeping me under surveillance while I remain inside of the library, where the people inside of the library are sitting in impossible light activity. This is where the entity is, again, psychopathic, and it's going to be the prosecution for harassment and domestic terrorism by the government, operating under the guise of a city library. Then it is at 2:25 p.m. maintaining an ongoing chorus of exceedingly loud, violent noise level, loud boom, violent booming sounds, and there's psychopaths that sit around as though it's not happening. They do the same thing with regard to stalking in helicopters, by the planes, the impossible light activity, though it's not happening. This is revealing the mentally ill population that is gang stalking. This is relevant. I want to be clear. The evidence of the fake sun and the impossible light activity is the direct proof that you would have regarding any American citizen, stating that violent noise levels are being maintained, that audible activity is coexisting with the engineered light because they're being monitored and they're being psychologically tortured and they're being
harass. This is what OVITT Family Community Library is representing, and this is what they're engaging in. It's psychotic. It's maintained based on what one person inside of the library is are everything I'm doing on the internet and everything that I'm being monitored by. And I'm in the quote-unquote quiet area of the library where the entity is maintaining a exceedingly disruptive and disturbing level of noise while in the engineer light under the fake sun with the government that you already are aware of is stalking both upon my entrance and exit of this venue, and they're doing so while I remain in this venue. This is the base level, and above would be the Page Cafe, and there's nothing that you're going to do on inside of a library. It's supposed to be quiet. The entity is always engaging in gang stalking, which is always going to be the pattern of conduct that's not characteristic of what is a normal environment where everyone's minding their business and everybody is innocent. And they're not demons stalking and monitoring and violent sex offenders. They're psychopaths, and they're stalking with the maintenance of exceedingly disruptive noise level, disconcerting noise level. It is piercing through the headphones that I'm wearing, and it's occurring pursuant to what it is that I'm doing while demons who are psychopaths are sitting around monitoring you. All right, it's currently 2:27 p.m. This is the entity that's going to be prosecuted for it. That's ongoing documentation of harassment by the government that's keeping me under surveillance at the venue of the quote-unquote family, quote-unquote community. It's a community of demons engaging in surveillance, sitting around stalking in a library, an impossible light. This is a mental illness exposed, P.O.C. All right, it is 5:38 p.m. This is documentation of, first of all, the kidnappers of the OVITT Family Community Library, state actors that include the employees such as Alan, Daisy. They engaged in kidnapping on June 16, 2022. That is one of many acts of obstruction of justice, and the loss of liberty by any American citizen shall result in federal prison. This is what you're witnessing at the Starbucks, which is on the same Euclid Avenue where the fake sun is remaining over OVITT Family Community Library right now, the crime scene, where psychopaths who are demon-possessed, stalking under the same fake sun that was present this morning at 7 in the morning. They're all stalking inside of a library with perpendicular and surrounding shadows, while the Ontario OVITT Family Community Library is engaging in what is psychological torture. This is when the demon-possessed are stalking you with noise, amplified in volume, that's uncharacteristic of what the library is supposed to be with regard to that environment. It's because they are gang stalking and because they are specifically demons. And the behavior of those demons includes the psychopathic and delusional conduct of stalking you while standing right next to you, being right next to you, being physically a stranger. That is the malice of the criminal monitoring system, and the relation between that targeted individual and the domestic terrorist is a matter of prosecution with regard to the malice of the population stalking, the nameless population, and the gang stalking family members, the gang stalking friends, the gang stalking co-workers, who are all going to federal prison. The entity that is gang stalking anonymously, if you will, it's not actually anonymous because they're all in engineered light that is inexplicable and impossible to occur. They're all under what is a fake sun that remains over the building for the duration of the day. That's impossible to naturally occur. These are delusional psychopaths who maintain an ongoing and uncharacteristically disruptive and disconcerting method of noise while they're all stalking me and stalking my physical movement and stalking with regard to my internet activity, which they are also exceedingly hostile toward. This is the character, the mental illness, which is a spirit operating in every single last one of the domestic terrorist gang stalking. And this is relevant to the establishment itself that is gang stalking, and it is a venue that is operated by the City of Ontario, where the mayor, Paul Leon, is steps away from this same venue where the fake sun's remaining over the entrance, where the ongoing psychological torture and harassment. Remember, this is harassment by the government, not any sort of harassment that's ever been legislated before. It's an unprecedented basis of harassment, and the entity is going to be federally prosecuted for what is inherently harassing while you are stalking with light, stalking with noise, and stalking in the path as a bunch of dead, hollowed out zombies who are very highly delusional, especially when that stalking conduct is a matter of public information and the whole world is watching this failed sacrifice. As I documented earlier, the entity maintains an ongoing chorus of booming, amplified booming, and this is pursuant to what is monitoring specifically my internet activity. And it is while the demon-possessed are, again, you're dealing with psychopaths. So these are the same psychopaths that conduct themselves as though light is not shooting all about inside of them while they're stalking inside of a Starbucks, like where they're stalking under a sun that nobody notices sits over the same building for 10 hours, 10 plus hours, that act as though it is not happening when the police fly over their senior citizen complex at 2 o'clock in the morning, and the entity is engaging in gang stalking, and it is not convincing whatever regarding the fact that it's not happening. But this is what gang members rely on. If the gang members, who are all demons, act as though it's not happening, they presuppose that it's not happening, and this is because the demon-possessed, who are intellectually inept and also severely mentally ill, they rely on what is corruption of that government that makes up the narrative and isolates and falsely depicts the character of targeted individuals. I'm going to prosecute with regard to that level of malice. They are all stalking inside of this library, and they're doing so with also with amplified noise. And this is also speaking to what is very demented while I'm in the library and also in the quiet area of the library, and it is everything but quiet, okay? And the entity is engaging in this pursuant to what it is that I'm doing and as I do it. And so I did document this on, like I discussed earlier, like I noted earlier in podcasts. I'm going to go ahead and cite again, because while the entity engages in this, you're looking at what is vacillation of faces. These are demons that arrive at the desks and leave the desks, stalk with noise. They're all doing it in engineered light. So when you're seeing me in operation of my device, which you're looking at, images, pictures, etc., getting up and out of their chair, walking to and from the desk, they're monitoring. All right, they're engaging in activity creation, while psychopaths who are more obsessed with me and genitalia that belongs to me than they are the fact that the federal government is watching them conspire the murder of an American citizen, which is why they're gang stalking in the first place. The entity is engaging in this inside of the OVITT Family Community Library, and it is 5:43 p.m. and the evidence shows that the fake sun remains over this library, where this ongoing terrorism and psychological torture is underway by every employee and every gang stalking patron. Okay, it is ongoing amplified booming at 3:26 p.m. where I am publishing a video documentation of August 19th, 2025. That is today at 7:30 a.m. The fake sun that's over Holt Boulevard and Euclid Avenue, where this same entity of demons are stalking on the roads and the highways under a fake sun that's still at that same intersection, like I pointed out at 6:30 p.m. Captured on August 15th, 2025 as I publish this amplified booming. And the context is that the demon-possessed are exceedingly hostile while they are still forgetting the point that they're documented and surrounded with evidence. That's speaking to the delusional psychopath that's conspiring murder, okay? The entity is engaging in this nonetheless, and it's relevant to psychological torture and harassment that American citizens have a right to not be subject to while they're being kept under surveillance by a population of mentally ill and intellectually inept. The fact that the intelligence quotient is so low is a threat to the safety of American citizens. That is a threat, okay? It's not merely a basis to criticize and even laugh at if you have a sense of humor like me, but it is a basis to threaten the life of an American citizen, because the lack of any sort of recognition regarding circumstances that should cause you a moment's pause, that should inform you that maybe you're not going to get away with. This is something that does not deter the mentally ill and the intellectually inferior, a population of them that are zombies stalking incessantly, obsessively, okay? This is the same conduct. I want to be clear, this is the precise description of the gang stalking police department. Okay? It does not matter the level of education. The demon-possessed are equally ignorant. They are obsessed, they are delusional, and they are demented. And like I stated, that's based and proven on their criminal activity and the knowledge that they have, maintaining surveillance of the evidence, and they're engaging in the level of criminal conduct that I have published on the internet. It's relevant to the prosecution of that entity. It's an unlawful threat. All right, so the ongoing amplified noise, and again, it's more than what I documented, but the entity that engaged in that extraordinarily disruptive noise level, I did note it several times, and it does include my publishing the video documentation of the entity that is stalking inside of the library, stalking with light, stalking with presence, and stalking with noise. That's monitoring. And the only thing that's monitoring are demonic spirits. And these are demons that are sitting around inside of a demonic environment, engaging in the criminal system with the government on behalf of the government. All right, and that is occurring at 3:26 p.m. again as I'm publishing that damning evidence on the venue of the internet, which all of the gang stalkers are hostile to. Occurring again at 4 p.m. When I am reviewing video documentation after having published, and I'm organizing my YouTube channel. As I am, the entity engages in this. I want to be clear. Monitoring is pursuant, not only pursuant to what you're physically doing. You're monitoring movement of a person. You're monitoring, again, what I'm doing is documentation. So my internet activity, my documentation, what I publish, everything is pursuant to what is evidence going toward a prosecution of this demonic system. While these demons are focused on what is a failed sacrifice, they are doing so while they're being prosecuted for it. So that's the substance of what they're monitoring and keeping under surveillance, the evidence that's going to be used against them. And that's also going to be evidence used to prosecute for obstruction. But nonetheless, the demons persist, and they're engaging in this while I am doing things such as thinking about videos to correlate to the published evidence. If you're familiar with YouTube's platform, you can connect related content, and that I do that in order to show you and so that you're able to recognize the pattern and the pattern of conduct with regard to seeing the environment, seeing the behavioral pattern, seeing what is impossible to occur, and you're seeing that ongoing impossibility as a pattern, recognizing that pattern of conduct amongst a people and a government, and that people are a part of the government. They're not individual private citizens, and they're not engaging in anything that's constitutionally protected as well. And that's revealing the malice behind the whole system of gang stalking, which is all underway inside of the building of the OVITT Family Community Library. All right, so while I am thinking about, okay, that is speaking to what monitoring is, it's demonic. It's spiritual at its core. What is spiritual, what is spiritually dark, what is spiritually perverted, what is spiritually demented is that which is manifesting in the behavior of the demon possessed. And this is how you're recognizing the entity is manifesting mental illness. The entity is manifesting sexually perverted behaviors, which you're going to prosecute for, such as stalking and things such as stalking in bathrooms and monitoring genitalia and being interested in such predatory and perverted conduct. This is starting in what is a spiritual condition, and this is the conduct of the demon possessed, all right? And doing so all in furtherance of the objective of sacrificing an American citizen, and it's legally prosecuted and addressed as conspiracy to commit murder. And gang stalking is that which is committed in furtherance of murder. All right, so it's no small thing, and the entity is going to be prosecuted for that, and it is relevant to the RICO case, including businesses that are acting in furtherance of the conspiracy to commit murder, just like OVITT Family Community Library, who's maintaining an ongoing chorus of disruptive, amplified noise inside of the quiet area in the library, and demented psychopaths sit around as though it's not happening because of the way that the system of gang stalking operates. So the entity is entirely delusional. Nothing that the entity is doing is making it impervious to prosecution. And not only have I already established my credibility, the entity has established the fact that nothing that they do or say is credible or legitimate or trustworthy. Literally, they've established that amongst themselves as I've established my credibility. But again, you prosecute not just with credibility, you prosecute with evidence. And my evidence shows that the gang stalkers are liars. These gang members are incredulous liars, and they are also very much delusional. In their alternate universe, if they don't acknowledge it, or if they say that it happens, then that's what it is. It's not based on reality. It's based on the reality that they concoct. This is speaking to the system of public corruption. I'm prosecuting based on the malice because I show you exactly what reality is, what's happening, and then I also contrast that with what the demon possessed wants you to believe is happening, and that's getting to the entity that is entirely corrupt and bankrupt, okay? The entity is engaging in what is amplified noise again at, looks like 5:08 p.m. What I'm capturing and what you'll see on the Google Drive is me capturing images of what's going on my communication device that's under surveillance, what the demons are inspired by when amplified booming is heard. Okay, they're monitoring not only my thoughts as I recall, oh, I should connect this video with that. Boom! Occurs inside of the library, and everybody is acting as though it's not happening. That is the entity that's engaging in what is psychopathic behavior. It does not bear negatively on the target individual whatsoever. Nothing within the pattern of conduct is bearing any negative reflection on the target individual, any American citizen. It is entirely reflecting upon the sick minds of those that are gang stalking. Okay, 5:08 p.m. again, and the entity is monitoring on. Remember, on the Ontario Wi-Fi, federal stalking under Title 18 is underway. All right, so they are engaged in criminal surveillance using the Ontario Wi-Fi network. And this is again at 5:29 p.m. where I am pulling up the kidnapping that this entity engaged in, that this entity committed. And this is the May 2019 kidnapping, case number FWV1900147. And as I am referring to this with regard to the entity's engagement in the pattern of conduct, as I'm documenting gang stalking deputies of the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department, who, by the way, are engaging in the pattern of conduct, San Bernardino County Sheriff gang stalking on Euclid and Hope Boulevard under the fake sun. That is going out of their way to engage in stalking and terrorizing and threatening me under the fake sun. The fake sun is getting to a level of specificity. All right, very particular, very unique, and very specific regarding who is being threatened, who is being targeted, who is being stalked, and who is being psychologically tortured. And that's how precise and detailed the evidence of the P.O.C. and the criminal conduct of demons, a part of affiliated with the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department. And this is what I'm referring to when the entity is again at what is 5:29 p.m. filling this lower part of the library with amplified boom. And it's so loud that it's heard through my headphones, by the way. And I'm documenting, this is not new. Every venue that I'm at, I'm always documenting the same pattern of conduct. Okay, so, and what you'll also see with regard to that pattern of conduct, with regard to amplified noise, it's occurring pursuant to what is the maintenance of the fake sun during the day, all day, and also over me all day, and also what is the engineered light as well, and the spectacular documentation regarding impossible light activity. Okay, this is what coexists with that. This, like I stated, this is already established. I'm documenting because it's going toward a prosecution, a very comprehensive prosecution, and the entity that is engaged in what is obsessing over my genitalia, delusional with regard to still stalking me as though they're going to achieve the objective. They're not. I am very much focused because this is serving a purpose. I'm going to prosecute, and I'm also going to civilly and criminally prosecute. And it's going to be very thorough and detailed regarding the criminal conduct that the entity engaged in, with knowledge, specific knowledge about the criminal conduct that I kept a detailed record of in order to document and prosecute by it. And that's relevant to the consequences, to the convictions, all right, to damages, etc. Because the entity is engaging in what is very much delusional conduct, and they're going to pay a penalty for it. A severe one. It's currently 5:53 p.m. These are demons that are all together of the same spirit, engaging in what is a supernatural environment, while they are all together acting as an entity, as a group, keeping me under surveillance, monitoring me. Okay, this is P.O.C. It's currently 5:53 p.m. This is just a couple of the moments that I documented because I'm focused on publishing videos, which you will see on YouTube. I'm publishing from documentation from 2022. But when the entity is engaging in what is extraordinarily disruptive noise, and I find it something noteworthy. It's all noteworthy, but I take the time to note it. I'm just speaking, it's happening more than the times that I'm documenting here, okay? It's the maintenance of a harassing environment, which the government is going to be prosecuted for. All right, this is P.O.C. It's 5:54 p.m. at the OVITT Family Community Library, 215 E.C. Street in Ontario, California. Wait, that's zip code 91764, yeah.
All right, that's again the fake sun. You'll see at what is the same address, 215 E.C. Street. And tracking my steps is the entity that is using commercial planes to engage in demonic activity, while the people of the state are walking around in engineered light. These are people who are demon possessed, and these are people that are legally referred to as third parties. They're engaging in criminal monitoring, and the evidence is the presence of the fake sun at the same address that it was this morning upon my entrance of this venue during the 10 a.m. hour. These are demons that are, again, inside of the library, all stalking together, tracking my steps in the same way, engaging in what is psychopathic behaviors designed to keep a person under surveillance. 8T71900 is a sex offender. That's a male. He looks tall. Short buzzed haircut, looks to be Caucasian, and is also wearing glasses, drives in a circle, monitoring with the demon license 9UFS272. This is satanic pacing. These are demons that are monitoring you while they're doing so under the fake sun. All right, this is the same exact circumstance this morning while I'm at the same address, and this is what Southwest Airlines, that's the particular third party, but Southwest Airlines represents an entity, and the entity is stalking inside of the library. Okay, the entity is full of what are cockroaches in the spirit. They're upright, they walk around with skin on, and they're demons.
All right, and they're violent sex offenders, and they're psychopaths that engage in, if they have the resources, stalking in order to sacrifice an American citizen by using commercial planes. And this is why Alan D. Wapner is being removed from office. What you'll see is the entity, the demons that are surrounding the bathroom. The purpose of being in the venue where the fake son is present is to engage in gang stalking. And it's not based on your date of employment. It's not based on chronology, because the fake son is there for that purpose. You have a demon that's manning the path inside of the venue, right there at the bathroom doors. The fake son is speaking to what is the evidence of stalking, monitoring genitalia in a bathroom as opposed to enjoying literature. And that's the same malicious pattern of conduct, which is also delusional. They're all under a fake son. This is getting to the mental illness shared by the demon-possessed who fly Southwest Airlines planes as well. This is documentation of what is bathroom monitoring. 6:27 p.m. The fake son's over 215 E.C. Street in Ontario, California. This is P.O.C. This is the entity that committed kidnapping because they knew that I was documenting, which is exactly what you're going to do. The federal government's going to prosecute for that. P.O.C. All right, just to be clear, as I am in the bathroom, as I walk outside and you see the pattern of conduct, those are all demons who are together monitoring me. That population is together monitoring me while all concentration is on a bathroom, which is a private space, and what is private activity. And the entity is doing so with regard to what is a system of public corruption, a problem of public corruption, and what is a sexually perverted and predatory pattern of conduct. And the particular demonic spirit that is at issue here, inspiring this mentally demented conduct, surveillance, is a Jezebel spirit, which is a perverted sexual, a sexually perverted demonic spirit. And that is speaking to the pattern of conduct and the criminal activity of the entity that is demon-possessed, engaging what is sexually perverted means of monitoring. All right, it's currently 6:28 p.m. As Southwest Airlines is gang stalking, Southwest Airlines is letting you know that all of the city of Ontario is monitoring my vagina in the bathroom. This is P.O.C. All right, license 7HPF865. That's, I believe that is Abby. She's a gang stalking sex offender working at OVITT Family Community Library. She likes to monitor my vagina in the bathroom. This demon that's engaging in terrorism, psychopath, license 9ROP546, while he's in the parking lot. Impossible light reaching across the distance like the Ontario Police Department did to me at 12 o'clock in the morning, stalking. And the evidence of stalking is being at a tremendous different distance while the entity is engaging what is molesting with impossible light. The molestation conduct is that which is touching your person, but it's when a demon is stalking in the path with light, hiding behind headlights, and they're engaging in what is surveillance while engineer light is coexisting with the use of their headlights. That's a demon that's just stalking in the path. License, sitting in the dark, stalking. I've got two shadows in front of me, 8T77505. These are demons that are engaging with all together, everything that I do and where I'm going. They're tracking my steps and stalking. And they're doing so while they have a trail of children monitoring on communication devices. This is the entity that has sacrificed their own children, by the way. This is the entity that they are pedophiles in the same way that they're engaging in this criminal conduct. Remember, this is demonic activity. Remember, this is ongoing psychological torture. They're employing minor children to do it. They're employing minor children that while they anticipate those children being documented, they're doing it in concert and on behalf of a corrupt government. It is the criminal act of what is terrorism. And they're doing it pursuant to what is satanic. These are the people of the state have sacrificed their children. I just want to make sure that you understand the implications of this. License 9RVC667, 8WCV166. And this is why the Ontario Police Department is being disbanded, by the way. They are literally an infection to American society where their criminal conduct is that which is in concert with minors, systematic contribution to the delinquency of minors. 8YMH089, surrounding the perimeter with light activity. They're at Lemon, greeting in the path with a method of light. This is the shadow of the light post in front of me has 3 shadows. That's giving you context about the significance of being in the path and being in the path with a method of light. These are demons. And they've been sitting around stalking me in the library all day long. Okay? That's the obsession of those that do not tend to their children. They don't actually care about their spouses. The entity is obsessed with me. The entity are full of demons. And that's the reality of the consumption with the targeted individual, which is revealing what is demon possession, okay? They're also sexually obsessed. All right, that license plate that I just read is engaged in what is an ongoing molestation, while demons who have documented gang stalking during the day under the fake sun are engaging in that ongoing sex offense from behind. So a demon that's already engaging in surveillance, sitting in the dark, waits till I walk by so that they can molest my backside with impossible light activity. This is what, again, from 320 North Euclid Avenue, the parking lot. I mean, I captured it on video at 12:35 a.m. From that parking lot across the street, I'm being molested with impossible light activity. 8ZZJ905 is a sex offender while I am across the street engaging in this is a male. He's a sex offender. He's a terrorist, and if he's an immigrant, he's going to be deported. And these sex offenders, these pedophiles, these sex traffickers, these terrorists are why they're going to be deported. And the Department of Homeland Security are doing exactly what they should do, deporting the gang stalkers out of California, especially when it becomes regular public knowledge that the immigrant population in California are a bunch of terrorists, and they are pedophiles, and they are acting with the level of impunity that my documentation proves, and nobody's going to be crying for those gang stalkers at all. License 8ZZJ905 is lurking in the dark, waiting for the opportunity to sexually violate me, to touch with light. That's the significance of stalking in the path and touching with light that is impossible to reach at the distance. If this light was that bright, we would be blinding each other on the road. This is a predator who's been monitoring my vagina, okay? This sex offender, again, 8ZZJ905, monitoring minor children. That's another federal charge, contributing to the delinquency of minors, and he's doing so with regard to the government's criminal pattern of conduct. License 9QL, I can't really see that one. This is P.O.C. I'm going to show you my shadow, actually, where this sex offender is molesting. Hold on one second. You can see my shadow upright on his vehicle. He's got his window open. He's listening to me document. I hope he keeps this same cooperative attitude in federal court, okay? The entity's engaged in this POC, and you'll see the two shadows in front of me. That's impossible light activity. This is a sex offender that wanted to touch on me. The demon-possessed, the violent sex offenders engage in that via light while they're monitoring you and keeping you under surveillance. The Ontario International Airport is gang stalking with this sex offender. The Ontario Police Department is stalking with this sex offender. And this is the entity that is, again, under the fake sun that remained over this library all day long. This is P.O.C. All right, and the demons that are, again, just waiting for me to continue walking down the path, like license 8HUN370, stalker, driving an engineered light, okay, engaged in what is listening to me breathe all day long, watching everything that I'm publishing on the internet. The homeless demons are gang stalking. Okay, the entity is engaged in, remember, these are demons. They don't even care about the fact that they don't have somewhere to live, and that's because they're gang stalking, irresponsible demons, drug addicts, prostitutes. They've made the choices that they've made in their life. The entity is engaging in gang stalking me, and my economic status is directly rooted in this criminal monitoring system for which I'm going to prosecute. In fact, I still remain subject to it while I'm in this position because the entity conspired murder. I'm going to prosecute for that. The entity is engaging in this POC, and that sex offender is molesting with what is impossible light. And this is exactly what the demon of Ontario Police engaged in last night, molesting with impossible light activity. This is the pattern of conduct that is not different from the demons of the Ontario Police Department who are being disbanded. It's an identical pattern of conduct. It is also sexually motivated, perverted. It is also entirely demented, very demented behavior. It is currently, by the way, 9:06 p.m. And this entity is pacing at Lemon and, I'm at Lemon and C Street, I believe. What is this intersection? No, I'm at Lemon and D Street. So the sex offender that's molesting in the same way that these third parties are, he's going to federal prison. He was gang stalking at 12:35 a.m. on video. And this is, again, surveillance that's done on behalf of the gang stalkers, the gang members, the Ontario Police, who are engaging in criminal activity with minor children. The entity is engaging in this P.O.C. with this level of despicable and disgusting conduct. It is mental illness, by the way. The demon possession is rooted in what is a spirit, and this spirit consumes children. So you need to understand the reality of mental illness. And those that are under the age of majority are engaging in not only criminal conduct, but sexually perverted and demented behaviors. And then you have questions regarding what went wrong with any number of children who have been under the influence of demonic spirits since they were minors. Okay, they're in concert with a family of demons engaging in this conduct together. These are a population that are ripe for committing murder and all matter of violence amongst unsuspecting people. Okay, this is the entity that's gang stalking under the age of majority, sitting around outside of the building waiting for me to walk by, and a group of underage gang stalkers are monitoring, engaging in federal stalking with communication devices. And this is what the entity is using specifically. They are waiting for me to come. Everybody's in position. They're literally waiting for me to go wherever they go, and they're stalking in the path the entire way, and everybody is literally on a stage. That's why they're all under a fake sun. This is all a stage. They're all stalking. All of them. So the entity is engaging in this stalking with light. This is exactly what the demon driving license 1680793 at 12:35 a.m. stalking in the middle of the parking lot, where being in the parking lot at 320 North Euclid Avenue is never going to result in light reaching across the street at 415 North Euclid Avenue. That's a demon, and that's a sex offender. That's speaking to obsession. It's also speaking to mental illness. It's also the identical pattern of conduct that the demon possessed that I'm documenting right now are sharing in. Okay, 320 North Euclid Avenue is monitoring while demons are facing east, stalking at the intersection where the state controls the lights. Impossible Light is moving across that apartment building, and they're being prosecuted as the state that is gang stalking by residents. It's not different from Alvarado Gardens. It's not different from Woodside Senior Apartments. The entity is engaged in this P.O.C., and they are going to be prosecuted while the demons are pacing all around them. And the demons that live, as I've already documented, that parking garage, that apartment complex, the fake sun over my head, both early in the morning and in the middle of the afternoon, which is speaking to stalking me as an apartment complex. That's an establishment engaging in the P.O.C. That property management company represents a place of business that happens to be engaged in property management. A corrupt means, a malicious means of the pattern of conduct, conspiring to murder an American citizen and maliciously doing so because you presuppose that no one's ever going to suspect you. In fact, no one's ever even going to include you in what is the demise of an American citizen who no one is aware of the fact that they were targeted by demons like those residing at 320 North Euclid Avenue, where Impossible Light activity is moving all across that apartment building, which is evidence used to prosecute them. It is currently 9:08 p.m. and 9:09 p.m. and the entity is stalking in planes. The entity is doing so where the Ontario police were at 12:35 in the morning stalking me, where the people of the state are stalking me in the same manner that the Ontario Police Department were doing this morning in the middle of the night, not sleeping, engaging in ceaseless surveillance. Okay, that's P.O.C. L&D WAPNER and Mike LORENZ engaging in what is the pattern of conduct as I'm referring to the video evidence at 12:35. Those demons that were surrounding me in the parking lot, stalking with Impossible Light at 12 o'clock in the morning. The time is always relevant to the criminal pattern of conduct, to the obsession, to the conspiracy to murder, to the obsessive stalking, to the psychopathic mental illness. All right, and they're stalking in the path at Euclid and E Street, and they're doing so. Traffic cameras would be relevant to the evidence. They're doing so while the Ontario International Airport is gang stalking, flying over glorious cochinas at D Street and Euclid, where there's no planes taking off or arriving. Just like I documented UPS gang stalking under the fake sun that was on this same street where the fake sun is also setting. That's where L&D WAPNER's criminal engagement, which is speaking to what is a removal from office necessarily, and that's not the limit of how L&D WAPNER is going to be dealt with under federal law. But it will necessarily include what is removal from office. It's currently 9:11 p.m. Ontario Police is gang stalking while the planes are a means of amplified audible activity in what is engineer light. License 9FJR013, stalking at Euclid and E Street at 9:11, stalking me. They're all demons. All of them are demons. They're all dead. They're all the living dead. They're literally filled with satanic spirits, and that's why they have the demented pattern of conduct. That's why it's uniform no matter what city I go to, by the way. Things such as the fake sun, it's giving you context no matter what city I go to. That's how it's scores and scores, legions and legions of dead people. the demon possessed. License 8P77316, stalking in the path by going to a facilitating venue, and that venue is going to be prosecuted, providing a crime scene, and that establishment is not innocent because that's why their employees are also gang stalking. That's why the government is gang stalking me at that venue. It's Chevron. P.O.C. It's 9:11 p.m. That's the entity stalking as I exit over Family Community Library. That's been engaging in surveillance like I documented and like the evidence demonstrates, where I don't even have to speak a word, all day long. Alrighty, it's P.O.C. It's currently, like I stated, 9:12 p.m. Flying over Euclid and E Street, where I'm at the Chevron at 506 North Euclid Avenue. This is the airport authority, Alan D. Wapner, who is stalking. The domestic terrorists are doing so, or engaging in this at the consent, the knowledge of this so-called leader of the airport authority, aware of all of the criminal conduct that's that is underway. There is no elaborate pattern of conduct, as I've shown throughout Southern California and in Nevada, that's going on with it. It's unreasonable and it is untenable to state that this pattern of conduct is going on underneath the noses of those that are in authority, okay? And you're understanding criminal conduct that's happening amongst the government, those that are in positions of authority, you shall be held responsible for it, if not prosecuted for it. I've documented Alan D. Wapner by name for a very long time. I've documented Alan D. Wapner via the Ontario International Airport for a prolonged period, which is tantamount to documenting Alan D. Wapner. And I've been subject to ongoing aggressive stalking by that airport, which is relevant to prosecuting in court Alan D. Wapner, a domestic terrorist, not a president of an airport authority. The truth of what his position is and what he's actually engaging in is within the pattern of conduct and the malicious way in which he specifically is targeting. Okay? If Alan D. Wapner is engaging in what is his job, then this would not be underway. And this is a pattern of conduct that requires that which is complicit amongst every city and every county throughout the state, because it's impossible with regard to the pattern of conduct. The fake sun is there because everybody's there engaging in the P.O.C. First of all, you get it, you deduce it from the environment. Second of all, you have what's the behavior in that environment. The entity is necessarily complicit with regard to a pattern of conduct that has clearly been underway for decades, okay? At least 20 years, because Paul Leon is a convict waiting to happen. It's currently 9:19 p.m., P.O.C., at 506 North Euclid Avenue. Stalking. Okay, can't go to the bathroom. I can't go to the library. I can't go to Starbucks. I can't go to the gas station to get a snack without being stalked by the city of Ontario. Okay, it is literally an act of stalking while I make a purchase at any or go to those any of those venues. And that's also why you're going to prosecute the president of the airport authority, who is actually a domestic terrorist, Alan D. Wapner. This is P.O.C. Bye, thank you.
Flying right over my head, 507 North Euclid Avenue. Purpose of what the Ontario International Airport seeks to accomplish: stalking me, flying over and around me in planes, targeting me while I'm sitting in front of 507 North Euclid Avenue. And this is also where the Ontario International Airport is stalking over this intersection. What you'll see uploaded to the Google Drive is the arrivals and departures from the airport, which has nothing to do with what I'm documenting, the Ontario International Airport gang stalking me using commercial planes. All right, that's the entity that is using smaller, that's the government, again, flying over me, stalking me. That's the objective. This is P.O.C. And all of these businesses and all these people are also stalking me. This is P.O.C. This is federal stalking in violation of Title 18. It is currently 9:48 p.m. That's terrorism, while the government is stalking an American citizen by planes and helicopters. That's ongoing terrorism and psychological torture. And they engage in that method of surveillance to monitor my genitalia as well. P.O.C.
Sex offender stalking with the Ontario International Airport. Let me show you this video. The moment that I get up and start walking toward this sex offender, this plane that's already stalking in the path flies over very rapidly. And pay attention, they were flying over my head when I was seated at 507 North Euclid Avenue that way. The entity is engaging what is stalking, migrating north while I migrate north. And this is a demon that's monitoring my device, Demons are across the street at 320 North Euclid Avenue molesting me like the Ontario Police Department. They're demons as well. And this is stalking with light. This is impossible light activity. That's the City of Ontario stalking, flying over in engineer light while their co-defendants, the demon possessed, this is mental illness exhibited 85616R3. The population is sharing in that. And his co-defendants, their co-defendants, these are demons that are stalking in the middle of the night. A woman, by the way, also monitoring my vagina. This is inherent to the pattern of conduct. Engaging what is late night stalking with the gang stalking police department. They're acting with the people of the state. This is why the Ontario Police is being disbanded. And they're molesting with impossible light while I operate my device. This is federal stalking, and this is mental illness. This behavior of stalking with light, stalking with regard to impossible light while they are across the street at that intersection where that demon is driving what is east on D Street. They're not going to touch me with headlights. These headlights that you see here, they're not reaching across to touch the housing authority building over there. These are demons that are stalking, all right? And this demon is monitoring while I'm being molested with light, and they're turning on their headlights sitting in the dark. I documented them. They turned off their vehicle lights. They're sitting engaged in surveillance with the government. They're doing so while they are monitoring the evidence as well. It's a pattern of conduct. The entity is engaged in that. If these are immigrants, this is the population you're going to deport, okay? This is criminal conduct by the police, all right? And this is criminal conduct by the City of Ontario that's stalking by planes while they're stalking in the path with light in the specific environment. This is P.O.C, all right? It is currently 10:35 p.m. where gang stalking, demon-possessed couples are stalking me together. All right, molesting as sex offenders with their co-defendants, monitoring my vagina as what the demon-possessed couples do together as well. This is P.O.C. It's 10:35 p.m. All right, the entity is stalking as I am documenting. This is exactly what the Ontario Police Department were engaged in at 12 o'clock in the morning today. And while they are at 320 North Euclid Avenue, and that demon that is stalking in the path in that parking lot is engaging in what is molesting with light. That's a demonic pattern. It's pursuant to surveillance. And it's also what the demon-possessed engage in when they're hostile. And remember, these demons are hostile because I'm prosecuting them. So everything that I document, everything they're triggered by, I'm getting molested with impossible light activity. Light that's just coming out of nowhere. And what also came out of nowhere, which you'll see on video, is the City of Ontario stalking me with small government planes hovering over the storefront, moving where I'm moving, okay? Flying over me at the Starbucks, flying over me at 415 North Euclid Avenue. All right, that's the Ontario International Airport's pattern as well in that specific environment. License AQUAHLX at the Arizona plate. They're engaging in the sex offensive monitoring, molesting me with impossible light while they're stalking in the path. Glorias Cochinas is gang stalking as well. Glorias Cochinas is located at the intersection of D Street and Euclid. The entity is gang stalking at the work boot warehouse. The entity is gang stalking at the HENSLEY-TORTA building. This is where the demons are stalking in the path with light, just like you'll see on video, in the specific environment where they're lining Euclid Avenue, engaging in what is, just like they're doing inside of the Ontario Library all day long. These are demons that are just coming in, taking their shifts, stalking in the path, just sitting around in the library, pacing all around, monitoring my every move. They're demons that are, again, in the spirit. They are monitoring me, so they know my physical movements. They also know what I'm doing on my devices, and they're doing so as a demon-possessed entity. This is all that's happening while I'm outside on Euclid Avenue, and a bunch of demons are engaging in what is demonic activity, and this is surveillance that they're engaging in. They're all doing this in furtherance of murder. Okay, so I just want to be clear on that. The entity is engaging in this while they are doing so on behalf of the government that's going to be prosecuted for soliciting a population to engage in conspiring murder by gang stalking. This is why Tracy Banks and Jason Isaac Fields are indeed going to federal prison. Okay, it's P.O.C. It's mental illness while you're seeing demon-possessed people, even couples. Their date night includes monitoring my vagina, stalking me in the middle of the night. Understand that that's mental illness. Understand that these are the living dead. That's totally abnormal. I wish I would be on a date and somebody needs to make a detour in order to stalk some woman, okay? That's what they're both doing together. And they're doing it with the state, okay? It is currently 10:38 p.m. This is P.O.C. at 415 North Euclid Avenue. License 8YMM298.
All right, this is the same City of Ontario, and it's 10:56 p.m. That's relevant positioning, light activity, impossible light activity, moving across the tree. This is crossing a path in concert with the demons on the ground, P.O.C. This is what the Ontario International Airport is doing. And this is what the entity is doing, where the fake sun is rising in alignment to me. This is where the entity is concentrating surveillance. That is, again, Mike Lorenz's criminal engagement and gang stalking. You're looking at what is mental illness because that's demon possession by the Ontario Police Department. They're flying over, as I published the video of the City of Ontario gang stalking by flying over me at 415 North Euclid Avenue, right here, flying over my head. The City of Ontario is pacing and playing in helicopter. That's what they're doing. The Ontario Police still stalking as a police department in furtherance of committing murder. They're doing so on behalf of terrorists like Tracy Banks, who committed kidnapping with that police department. She is going to federal prison. She's gang stalking as an entity while these demons are keeping me under surveillance right now. Tracy Banks is monitoring with the Ontario Police. On this street, right here, is where the entity had the fake sun rising in alignment to me, in the same way that the Ontario Police are stalking in the path, flying over my head in the engineered environment. Turning onto Euclid Avenue, the demons are molesting me while I'm sitting over there with impossible light. These demons are monitoring together. That's P.O.C. It is currently 10:58 p.m. All right, this is demonic. Crossing a path, audible activity. Crossing a path, audible activity. This is the elements of monitoring. This is P.O.C. Alrighty, this is my shadow over here, and this is my shadow right here. This is the shared specific environment. It's going to be used to prosecute the gang stalkers who are the Ontario Police Department. They're wasting millions of dollars, which Paul Leon is aware of, in the same way that Alan D. WAPNER is aware of the use of commercial planes to engage in criminally surveilling an American citizen who's putting it all over the internet. They're not only aware of the resources that are used to gang stalk me and furtherance of murder, they're aware of the fact that it's all over the internet. And Paul Leon, Mike Lorenz, Alan D. WAPNER, the Ontario City Council, the gang stalkers themselves are fully engaging in it in furtherance. This is the practice of witchcraft that you need to know that these government officials are engaging in, and you already know that these are the people of the state. These are the peasants that are gang stalking in Ontario, and the entity that is the City of Ontario is monitoring. You hear that vehicle in the background? This vehicle is, and the demons are stalking by helicopter back here behind Gloria's Cochinas. All right, this is the entity that's engaging in satanic conduct. This is the demon possession of a police department, which is relevant to domestic terrorism in the United States. Domestic terrorism in the U.S. is rooted in what is the practice of witchcraft, Satanism, and this is a failed sacrifice that the government is engaging in. And this is going to be the disbanding of a terrorist organization that has been masquerading as a law enforcement agency. And the people of the state are going to federal prison for every kidnapping that they engaged in together with these gang stalkers. This is the same entity gang stalking, and I've documented them, this same criminal pattern of conduct where the Ontario Police then committed kidnapping, and they're going to federal prison. Okay, it is currently 10:59 p.m. This is P.O.C. at 434 North Euclid Avenue. That's amplified plane activity. The people of the state are stalking in the path. This is where the entity was stalking for 9 minutes in helicopter, and they're monitoring. This isn't traffic, this is surveillance. They're driving an engineer light, and they're monitoring with the police. Okay, that's P.O.C. So I just want to be clear, the federal government is going to prosecute not only for the criminal pattern of conduct, which is terrorism. The federal government is going to prosecute based on the impunity that that government that is trying to murder an American citizen exhibits. This is relevant to how many years Alex Escobar is going to get in federal prison. Okay, this is relevant to why everybody employed by the Ontario Police Department will never be in law enforcement ever again. This is why the Department of Justice is going to main domestic terrorists on a list analogous to Megan's list, where you are being made aware of sex offenders, terrorists in the United States, whose lives will be forever changed, and that's going to include gang stalking police officers. The Ontario Police are pacing right here behind this tree. They know that I'm capturing video. All they're doing is engaging in what is pacing. They're flying back and forth over me, concentrating helicopter activity right here on Euclid Avenue, and as I document on an ongoing basis, as I upload it to the internet, flying over my head again, as I document, and then they review it, and then they get hostile. They're triggered psychopaths and sex offenders, have been monitoring my vagina all day long, by the way, and they're doing so with the entity in the specific environment. This is impossible light activity. That's also inside of the venue, OVITT Family Community Library. That's light. That's impossible to occur from driving by. The Ontario Police are demons who are stalking. That's relevant positioning. This is surveillance by that Ontario Police Department. They're relying on criminal presence in the path activity creation while they're gang stalking together. And this is the outward demonstration of mental illness. They're pacing back and forth. This is the demonic pacing, okay? The entity that's going to be prosecuted, the gang stalking police officers, are going to be subject to routine mental examinations relevant to what is both the diagnosis of mental illness and the criminal prosecution, the conviction for domestic terrorism as a corrupt police department conspiring to murder an American citizen whom they are criminally keeping under surveillance. And the entity engaged in what is kidnapping me while they are demons who have been gang stalking me. And Jason Jason Isaac Fields and Tracy Banks are still targeting while the Ontario Police is engaging in that ongoing criminal conspiracy that they engaged in together as an entity, and they are still engaging in it. They're going to federal prison. It's currently, again, 11:02 p.m. This is P.O.C. No headlights from over here. It's going to molest my person over there. And no traffic lamps create what are multiple shadows. The Ontario Police are demons, all right? And they spend millions of dollars stalking me in helicopters and airplanes. This is P.O.C. They're stalking together with the people. This is why Ocean at Starbucks is going to federal prison, because she's gang stalking with the Ontario Police when she engages in what is kidnapping with the very gang stalkers who are covered with what is a body of evidence of stalking. And then they want to act like they're legitimate law enforcement officers that are not already stalking me. All right, keeping me under surveillance. Ocean's going to federal prison. This is P.O.C. License 8YVN134 9DHN696. These are demons monitoring where the Ontario Police flew over me, engaging in ongoing sexual violence. I'm being molested by one demon after another, stalking via ARCO at 434 North Euclid Avenue. These demons are the same entities stalking in the middle of the night with a whole police department that's behind that criminal conduct and obsession with me. And what is the criminal conduct that's happening, both based on the mentally ill who are at the simultaneously fearful and psychopathic. Okay, so they're both fearful and obsessed and enraged. Hence, ongoing stalking in an obvious manner where it's then documented and published on the video of the internet, going toward a plethora of people's federal imprisonment. It's currently 12:08 a.m. This is documentation following up with regard to terrorism by helicopter by the Ontario Police Department, captured at 10:56 p.m. P.O.C.